I don't care if you've been brining your big-titted bird all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fan, with that dank shit on my left. Blue.
Only got 3 words for you guys.
Oh, that's not even a word.
God
If
damn.
Hold on. If you're listening audio only, that was Blue eating a sweet potato pie.
3 words.
On air. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, Chuck We've out on threes and fours, Chronos.
It doesn't matter if you lose by 74 electoral college votes or over 6 million actual votes. Losing is losing.
Last but not least, we got the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
There are 2 types of people in this world. Avoid both of them. Until next time, friends.
With the He-Man. Oh, shit. The fuck you sipping on?
An Izzy.
Oh, God damn it. All right.
It's a cranberry orange spice.
Good
Sparkling juice.
That's good for your period.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kronos, some stats for us.
Stats for the week. Thank you to user 327561421 for listening. We appreciate it. And also first in chat would be Mile High Blurred. Thank you for being here on time, even though we were not. Sorry, we had some serious technical difficulties, but they have been resolved, we hope, for the most part. So enjoy.
So, sorry about your mayor, Mile High Blurred. We'll talk about him later.
Yo, happy Thanksgiving to Jason. He just commented in the chat room.
Hell yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Old Ninja, you back on with us. Before we even get started, Stitch is taking care of some family stuff. He will not be on the cast this time. He is hopefully safely driving, I think, or somewhere in California.
He's burying dead bodies. Just tell the truth.
This is a big ass fucking beer.
Old Ninja, you usually have some type of liqueur, some type of beverage, something you pouring out.
So we're gonna pour out, I guess, because it's Thanksgiving and we're getting close to Christmas. We're gonna pour some eggnog this time for David Hemlin, famous voice actor from the X-Men and the animated series from the 90s. He was the voice of Magneto in the show. He's had several live-action roles, including some cult favorites such as Earth Final Conflict, the TV show, the Le Femme Nikita TV show, Short Circuit Part 2, Brain Scan, Rollerball, Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, and Tommy Boy.
That's a lot of B movies.
He was 79 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's unfortunate because they've been talking about a X-Men revival at Disney Plus, and he was part of that discussion, but then he passed. He's like
bringing back the 90s X-Men one?
Yes, or a continuation of the X-Men, the animated series.
That'd be cool. That would have been cool.
I like how shows from back where they are all called the animated series. Like, they don't really use that shit for shows now.
Like it wasn't obvious that it was animated.
Yeah. Gargoyles, animated series.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually right. There was a shit ton, like Batman, Superman. What else? Who else was there? Green Lantern.
Well, you have to remember that most of those shows that they call it the animated series is because they usually had more serious content, and so they had to make it seem like a more serious kind of show through the name by calling it the animated. It's kind of fucking silly, like marketing nonsense, but I mean, all the shows that we just mentioned had, serious content in them. So, especially Gargoyles. Remember, somebody got fucking shot. They had a good show on gun violence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She got shot in the arm, and she was like shot for 5 or 6 episodes. Her arm was in a sling.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you get shot, you don't instantly heal. Oh, Ninja. I mean, this is reality.
No, but in cartoon logic, they kept her in a sling for a couple of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, versus G.I. Joe, if you got shot in one episode, the next episode you were fine.
If you got shot in G.I. Joe, it'd be like you'd be unlucky. I mean, especially if you're an actual GI Joe. Like, yeah, if you're Cobra, I can understand you might get shot the fuck up. But if you're on the GI Joe side, you ain't getting shot by nobody. They're basically stormtroopers shooting at you.
Big facts. Big fucking facts, man. Yeah, it is what it is. Ooh, man, we got a good fucking list. Where do you want to start with today? Day before Thanksgiving.
Dude, I want to talk about something. We talked about this last week. This goddamn PlayStation 5 motherfucking station. Oh my god. Last week, PlayStation or Walmart had made it available where you can buy the game, and like I was on there again, had my account set up, had my shopping cart with all the games and accessories I wanted to get, and bam, I couldn't fucking get it last time. They did it again today. At 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, they restocked the shelves, and I was in there again. I made sure my address was correct on my account. I made sure my credit card numbers were correct on the account. I made sure that my phone number was correct. I made sure everything was correct so that I wouldn't have any issues when I went to go buy it. And when time came, I kept hitting refresh, and I got that oh dear fucking notification saying like, oh hey, you know, we're having technical difficulties. You know, there's troubles in the North Pole or shit like that. I'm like, are we doing this shit all over again? Then eventually, I got it in my fucking cart again. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's gonna happen this time. It's gonna happen this time. I get into my goddamn cart, and then it goes down again, and I refresh, and it's still in my cart, and I go to trade into I collect my address, and it said that the address was wrong or something weird. Then I refreshed again, and then all of a sudden it said like, one of these games are available for free shipping. I was like, okay, why do you need to tell me that? Just
ship
order
it.
fucking through. So fucking I go through and and eventually, oh man, shit had me so fucking pissed. But I got the PS5, bitches.
Nice.
Yep, I get it next Thursday. I actually was able to get it. But yeah, I got the PS5 coming my way. And I got it with Sackboy, and I got Miles Morales Spider-Man. But dude, like apparently the console sold out in like fucking 5 seconds or something that people are saying. But
that's what
I lucked out this time.
I keep telling people like how'd you get it? I'm like, you just fucking gotta keep trying. Like literally, I probably refreshed that screen at least 25 times.
Yeah, I refreshed it so many freaking times.
In like probably a minute, and it's just like, and it kicked me out too. It's just like most people, what happens to them is like it says it's sold out and it was in their cart, and they just fucking quit. Oh, I don't get my shit. Refresh your shit. Like seriously, you never know, because a lot of times with these, there's like a lot of e-commerce problems, and when you assume that when it says that it's sold out, that it's sold out, don't assume that, because there's thousands of people that are trying to get in to buy the same fucking thing, and guess what? A lot of them, they're gonna have some issues with either their account or their payment. And so when that happens, it kicks them out, and then it makes that one available again. So just fucking keep refreshing. You know, that's what you gotta do.
One tip I give: account set up, that your credit card information is already. That way you don't have to worry about like trying to type everything in there. If it's all in there, literally I had to do like 4 clicks. It was buy the PlayStation, verify my address, verify my credit card, and then go ahead and pay. That's like the 4 clicks I had to do outside of hitting the refresh button so many goddamn times.
Yeah, definitely set all that stuff up first.
I mean, I think it is good to point out though, like, first of all, I'm really happy that you were successful, Blue. That's awesome. But there are scalpers. There are people with like literal bots assisting them, buying up as many as they possibly can for resale, and that's also one of the real negative things that's happened. Now, this is not the first console that this has ever happened to. It's just one of those things. There's only a certain amount of them available, and that's a real thing that is going on. It's not impossible, but it is making it more challenging for a lot of people.
Yeah, if I think like back in the day was like buying concert tickets. Yeah, you had those fucking scalpers buy the tickets and stuff, and then sell them for like 3 times the price or some shit.
Yeah, apparently scalpers have more of an inventory than actual stores do, and that's a shame. And I think that a lot of the people, I mean, listen, if you're out there and you're thinking about buying some scalper shit, I kind of hesitate to call it scalper. It's just based. Well, I guess it is a scalper because you're making somebody pay over the normal price. But yeah, don't pay over the normal price. You know, just keep trying. Stop giving these fucking assholes that are trying to make a quick dollar. That's not even a quick dollar. They're overcharging people by so much, it's egregious. I can understand like maybe $50, but when you're out there trying to sell a PS5 for like $2,000, go fuck yourself, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, times are hard, and you're taking advantage of people, you know?
And
Shit, I was
the other
gonna sell
thing is,
mine, but not anymore.
the other thing is, you, just from a consumer standpoint, you need to be fucking safe too. Don't meet up with anybody
Yeah,
at
no.
any fucking
dude.
shady place, even a gas station. Don't do any of that meetup shit with people you don't fucking know. Talking about bring your cash and I'll give you this PS5. That's the way you gonna get got.
But not even that, like, also, whatever, even if you're buying, like, off eBay or something like that, make sure you read the fucking directions or the description, because there's a lot of people out here selling PlayStation boxes.
Yeah.
Like,
That's terrible. Also, anyone that asks for your social security number, this should go without saying. You never give out your social security number to someone you don't freaking know, especially to buy a product. Like, it should not be required.
Well, apparently, it's not required. You should never give anybody any of your personal information like that. A single person, yeah. Like you ain't getting my fucking address. You know, like
Exactly.
the fuck out here.
Exactly.
Another thing is that apparently these motherfuckers are getting robbed. So, but it's like no surprise. I mean, you're sitting up there doing some nefarious shit. I mean, I don't wish you to get robbed, but I mean, you're already in the realm of being a dick. So people are gonna do dick shit to you. This is like, I don't totally believe in karma, but it's pretty much karma. You do stupid shit, stupid shit's gonna happen to you. So
and just to make the distinction though, I don't have a problem with, okay, let's just say you've been hitting the refresh button and really been on it, and for whatever reason, you want to give some out to your nephews or nieces or family members or whatever the fuck, but you're actually going to utilize them. You bought 3 or 4 of them and you're going to utilize them or give them away as gifts, whatever. That's fine. It's the people who have bought like 10, 12 of them and literally are charging $1,000 for each. That's a different fucking animal.
Yeah.
So, is what it fucking is.
But it's
man,
also,
congratulations, dude.
I'll just put a disclaimer out there. It's easy for me to say when I'm looking down on all of you fucking plebes with no PS5s. Just saying, I got mine.
I feel like
in the mail.
I feel like I won the lottery and I'm about to fucking come up. I'm about to be part of the future.
But
it's like I got tribute.
Well, let's keep it honest again though, because I talked about it a little bit last week, but this week it's reinforcing to me that this is the least reliable console that I've ever bought new. Like right when it came out, it's the least reliable. Like the PS4 had issues. The first day it came out with like infrastructure, because you couldn't sign into the PlayStation Network. That was understandable because back then they were widely available. There was no like real production issues at all. I mean, there were some, but not really. But this one, signing in was fine, but it's just the reliability of the software has been super sketchy. It's crashed me now at least 7 times, and the Call of Duty Cold War has been super sketch. Just setting it up was it was all fucked up. I had to sign in. I had to try to make an account at least 5 times within the COD software, and then my PS5 crashed one of the times, and I've had it crash a bunch of other times just doing like random shit. And if you look out there, there's like there's a whole thread about how putting your PS5 in rest mode is apparently part of the problems. But it's like, why? That's a feature, and people are just okay with like not bringing it up that this is a serious. It's a fucking issue. Okay, I put my shit in rest mode all the time because stuff comes. You can get into your game like right away, and then basically, if that's part of your software issue, they need to fucking patch it. And one of the things I noticed today, I was sitting here working at my desk, and all of a sudden my PS5 turned on, and I was like, not now. All right, not now. But I turned my screen and I was like, what's going on? Like, why?
Don't play with me.
Yeah, I was like, why are you turning on? And then it was an auto update, and I was like, okay, if you're gonna you can auto download, but please don't auto update my shit. You know what I mean? Like, because I've already been hit with the issue. Y'all familiar with me? Like, years back with my PS3, where an update bricked my shit because I had a larger hard drive in there than the stock one, and it bricked my system. Yeah. And I don't want that to happen. And especially like literally that like when after auto updated, I went to go start my PS5 and it crashed, and it wouldn't come back. I was like, what the fuck? So I had to literally like turn it manually off with a button for like 5 seconds, turn it back on, but then it came back. But it was like sitting there idly for like 15-20 minutes, not doing shit because it crashed. And it's like these are serious problems that I think that people need to be aware of when they get the PS5. Don't get me wrong, when you're playing it, it's fucking amazing. But as far as like the software goes, It's a little sketch still, but it's it's like one of those things. If you're an early adopter, you kind of accept some risk with your shit. But I think that not enough, especially like like I haven't heard IGN really talk about this kind of shit, like really at all, like how unreliable it can be. And many other major gaming and news organizations that aren't really talking about how systems are crashing, but it's a widespread issue, and apparently the Xbox happens to that too. It's probably not as bad. I can't say how bad it is because I don't have a fucking Xbox Series X. But from the PS5 perspective, I'm just gonna keep it real. It could be way more stable.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, besides it being loud as fuck, my launch PS4 is still chugging along. It sounds like an aircraft carrier, but
Damn.
When is the last time you cleaned your fans?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I did it before I moved.
I'm about to say he ain't never done that.
No, before I moved, and actually when I moved in here, so a few weeks now.
Oh, okay.
But it's old. It's old and loud. I mean,
Well, you got the original. You don't have a Pro, do you?
Yeah, no, it's a launch one. Yeah, it's 7 years, so it makes sense. But it's chugging along. It is what it is.
It's like an old man on a porch, just fucking loud as hell, telling you to get off your lawn.
Damn.
He's telling you to go play with your kids, goddammit.
Did y'all see? I see on the list here G4 Thanksgiving special. What happened there?
I watched it.
Yeah,
you guys watch it?
I just finished it.
I shed a little thug tear watching it.
Yeah. It was a huge throwback. I was talking to K-Mac about it. Just like we don't have that sort of thing anymore. Like, even if you didn't like G4 TV, they revolutionized really gaming as far as I'm concerned, and like the whole geek culture. They were the first like major network to like get in there and like show you what the fuck a con was all about. And like for most people, like even to this day, there's still a huge hole with like getting good con coverage. Like we sort of have it. YouTube tried to do it, Rooster Teeth, all these other people, but it's not the fucking same as it was with G4 when you saw Adam Sessler on the floor and Blair Herter. Go ahead, Prodigy.
Well, I was gonna say E3. Like, let's be specific. E3 was like the one, because remember, it wasn't open to the public, and basically G4 was your eyes and ears for the entire E3. All those years with the big launches and the new games, the new franchises, their impressions. The way they covered E3 was fucking god tier, and you got to give them props. That's what we had never seen the likes of. And then the other thing is, it got more people interested in con culture. Period.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it was just so powerful.
Because I don't think some people knew what E3 was even, and they're like, oh, because if you didn't know, there is two types, right? There are people who knew about E3 but didn't know about PAX and didn't know about Gamescom. And then there's the people, and then vice versa. So it's like E3 brought you all of it. Not only that, but in addition to going to E3, sometimes they got exclusive first looks at stuff that like other places didn't. Granted, IGN, they got their first look, but it was usually on something else. What was it? Games Radar and EGM and all that. Sometimes they got first looks at other property, but G4, they would talk to you like live. They'd be like, hey, we got to see this and we saw this, and then they would be able to give their opinion on it like right then and there. So it was like, it was super crazy.
Well, even one thing that was so great about E3 or about G4 was that like it was a show, and they would show like ads and commercial of what times they were, like Sony's going to be on this day at this time. Nintendo's gonna be all day this time, blah blah. Where now you have to like go and like with IGN, they cover it, but you have to go onto their website and like search for it and try to figure out, okay, what time is happening. And like for YouTube, you don't even know what time they're gonna cover this stuff. You just know that they're covering it. If you didn't know that it was happening at this time, you wouldn't know that it was happening on YouTube.
Well, they have a gaming like thing where they actually do show the schedule, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. It's like it's not very intuitive, and it wasn't like you're watching on TV. But one of the things that since G4 TV has like gone off the air, one of the things that people are missing is that what G4 did is that it felt like you were at the con because they would walk the floor, and when they first started the show, like the show was overlooking the rest of the convention. Like most of the other people there aren't really, most of the other, not really networks, but everybody else is covering these things. They don't show you that, and they're also not showing you like all the booths. at all. So you're not really getting the sense that you're at at the convention. So now when when E3 or whatever comes out, I'm just waiting for the trailers to drop. You know what I mean? So I'll watch for that content. But usually, when they're talking to the content creators and shit like that, it's away from the floor. It's in like some other area, so you don't really get a feel of like what the actual con is like, and like actually seeing these badass booths. I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. Look, you can play all these demos. It's so dope. Like you're not getting any of that experience when you're watching it now. And then there's also all of the various hosts that G4 had, all the chemistry that they had. It was really good. None of the other people that cover these conventions, they don't have any sort of chemistry like Olivia and Kevin did, or Blair Herter, and there's a whole bunch of other people that were on there too. They're just like nobody. Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb. Yeah, like they were like we all knew these people. They're all awesome and they all work well together. And no other organization has anything anywhere close to that. And it's a shame that we're missing that. But apparently it's going to come back. So
that's awesome. Because weren't they under Comcast? I believe they were under like Comcast.
They're still under Comcast. Yeah, because they were saying they're going to have like a streaming service.
What had happened is y'all. I don't know if y'all remember, but G4 got rebranded to Esquire TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And there's literally a metrosexual channel. Yeah. And I'm like, no one gives a shit about this.
It was Esquire.
Bring me G4.
Oh, was.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Spike got converted to Esquire.
You thought what?
No.
I thought Spike TV.
Nope. It was G4. And they were. It's funny because I remember watching they were doing I think an anniversary special or whatnot, and they talked about where G4 was, and they're on the same and they're in the same building as the E channel. So they're talking about how when they're going to their job or their floor, they'd be in there with models and stuff who are hosting E and stuff, and they'd be guys freaking out.
Yeah,
get the sweaty nerds away from us.
I went down to LA and I actually have a picture of me standing in front of the G4 building, and there's the ELO because it's down in LA. It's off of or it used to be off of where the fuck are those tar pits? They're across the street from the goddamn tar pits. Yeah, they're across the street from the Brea tar pit in LA. Okay. You can literally walk across the street and be at the tar pits. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Never been to the tar pits.
So going back to the Thanksgiving special, tell me about this actual event. This was obviously online. I didn't see it yet.
Yeah, it was online.
I saw it on YouTube.
I saw it on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. So they had it as a premium on yesterday. Had it for premium, and then at 2 a.m. this morning they dropped it for everybody else. So you can go in there right now and watch the YouTube special. And they had Kevin and Olivia on there. Morgan Webb, Adam Sessler, what's the guy's name?
Blair
Herter, and the girl from Cheaters.
Yeah. Kristen Davis, I believe.
I couldn't remember what show when she was on there. I was like, what fucking show was she from?
Yeah.
She did the whole oh look, I cheated.
Or no, not Kristen Davis, Kristen Adams. There you go. That's her name.
Yeah. But then after that they did a live charity event where they actually had other people on that via Skype or whatever, or I guess Zoom.
The Gravy-thon.
Yeah, the Gravy-thon. They had Allison Hessler on there.
Allison Hayslip.
And they also had Blair Herter's wife on there. What's her name?
Jessica
Chobot. How dare you? Blair Herter is Jessica Chobot's husband.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Well, see, I always got their names
famous
confused.
one.
Yeah, I forgot. I always get their names mixed up. Blair Herter and Blair.
That's why she didn't.
Oh,
that's why she didn't change her last name.
Because there's Blair Herter and Blair Butler. Blair Butler used to host a comic hour or comic half hour show.
Yeah.
So I've actually seen her at Comic-Con. She's actually pretty cool. So.
It was interesting because she was on she was on Kevin's podcast. I think it was called The Attack. Oh no, it was something else. But she had talked about how she had postpartum depression after she had her kid, and it was a pretty interesting story to hear her life story. Having her talk about that, but yeah, I definitely go check that out. But this thing was fun. It was a lot of fun. They did a lot of flashbacks on the shows, and they had Kevin and Olivia do an old school, or they redid a
Around the
the net. Yeah, and that shit, like right when they played the music, the attack music, and they played Around the Neck, I had like goosebumps. I was like, oh my god, dude, I miss this so much.
So, are we for sure getting G4's return, or is it still rumor mill right now?
No.
Oh no,
getting
return.
Yeah.
Come back.
I don't know if it's going to be with all the same people, but it's coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, Olivia's a serious actor now, and well, semi-serious actor, and I don't know what everybody else is doing. So,
Well, I do know Kevin Ferreira has had a long time podcast and a few TV shows.
yeah, but I don't know if he's going to drop that for G4.
He might do both. You also forgot to mention Chris Hardwick was he was part of this as well. They had him talk about some of the funny moments from the show. So I don't know what was up with the host, because they had a host of the show.
Ron
and I
Funches.
guess he said he's a super fan. I don't know who this dude is.
He's a comedian. Ron Funches. He's a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this guy, but he was funny. It was funny. He was like Craig Robinson, but like nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually pretty funny. And then they had like a guest star show up. It's actually pretty funny to me because he's a WWE wrestler that's part of, what are they called? The New Way?
The New Day.
The New Wave? The New Day. There we go. So he talked about, how much of a praise he is. So if you're playing Gears 5 right now, the New Day is featured in Gears 5. You can get their content. If you have Game Pass, you can get it for free. If you don't, then it's $10 to get their whole pack, which includes the whole team in their colors and their skins and stuff. And if you're watching over the weekend, they came out during one of the wrestling events in their Gears of War gear, and they had like a makeshift Lancer and everything, and they're like promoting it and shit. It was actually pretty dope.
Was actually the wrestler guy that comes out. He's actually going to be a host on the show. So if you go back to the G4 channel, they have like a new snippet that talks about him becoming a host of one of the shows.
That's
Nice.
dope. That's the role of a lifetime in a lot of ways, man.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. They talk about how G4 didn't have like representation of black people, but they forgot about what was it like Will
Check the bullet point, bitches.
Yeah, that guy was fucking funny as hell. The guy who had like bargain deals and like a trailer of stuff you can buy. Dude, I missed. He was really good on the show. I missed having him on that show.
I remember that dude. Oh, so they're missing. Blair wasn't there, and neither was Sarah Jane Underwood, because she was actually on the show quite a bit. So they didn't have her guest in. I thought she was gonna come in to take over Olivia Munn's spot, but instead they got Candace Bailey. And they had her dialed in as well. She did a little video tribute about what kind of culture she was coming into, joining the cast and whatnot.
I always felt bad for her because like she kind of got too much shit because it's only because everybody loved Olivia, and then all of a sudden she got replaced, and then everybody's like, what the fuck? But yeah, I don't think she was like that bad. She just wasn't Olivia Munn. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we all loved Olivia, but okay, don't quote me because I haven't looked this up and it's been a whole lot of years, but I always got the impression that she decided to leave.
Olivia Munn?
Yeah.
Yeah. She because she wanted to go pursue acting, and then
I
was watching a video on I was watching a video on IGN from like years back, and she was talking about her leaving IGN, and she said that she said it on IGN, but when she was talking about leaving G4, and she was saying that she wanted to leave, but to act, but then she also wanted to like come back on the show like just irregularly, and they just like closed the door on her, and she was like, well, all right, like they kind of did her dirty, and it's just like, I mean, if I can understand why she didn't want anything to do with G4 or anything after that. It's just like, she wanted to still be on she said she had like the most fun on that show that she ever had, and then they just closed the door on her like that. It's like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up, because she came up. I mean, like her and everybody that you saw on that show, what the fuck was the show? The
Attack of the Show?
No. It used to be a whole different like older nerd fucking channel.
You talking about Tech TV.
Yeah, it used to be Tech TV, and then Tech TV.
Yeah, when Tech TV was up here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, so G4 bought Tech TV, and they kind of merged, and so it went from like this whole older vibe into like a younger vibe, and so you got to see like all these younger people, which included Olivia, because Olivia Munn, she wasn't originally the fucking, co-host of that show. She was on like some crazy car show from a racing show on G4,
like Drift or something.
Something like that, and then same thing with Kevin Pereira. Like he didn't start on Attack of the Show. He started on like Arena as like a co-host of Arena.
He was on Screensavers as well. I remember him being on it because that's where that's the episode where he's wearing the leather the jean tuxedo and the guy drops that fucking priceless one of a kind fucking audiograph like disc or whatever.
I haven't seen that one. But yeah, it's just like watching them like come up through the ranks, like all of them was amazing. Like I watched the first appearance of Morgan Webb on G4 TV, and I think it was during Screensavers, because she's Canadian, and she was talking about like breaking down Canada for Americans, and it was like hella funny because she had like really short blonde hair, and like you can tell it's her, but it was just like doesn't look like what she looks like for the past fucking 20 years now. You know what I mean? Like she looked like a little bit different.
So that's so great, man. And then I know Sessler's still doing stuff with making of video games. I think he like owned part of a studio, I believe.
Yeah,
I think he was involved even in that Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
So
I could have sworn Morgan Webb started with Tech TV before they became G4. Because I think Screensavers was part of Tech TV before they moved everything to LA. So she's been with it for a minute. So it's pretty interesting to watch everyone kind of come up and to be different. And then, like, I remember when Olivia Munn left, she went directly to HBO. So she went to the show called The Newsroom.
That's a great show.
I was like, yeah, so she's on there with, like, Jeff Daniels. Like, they had, like, a really good cast. And it's actually a really interesting show. I've seen half of an episode. I was like, dude, this is actually pretty
You saw half of a single episode?
Yeah,
the whole
single episode.
The whole fucking series is good, y'all. The whole series is good.
Well, I watched the speech that Jeff Daniels gave about when was America ever great.
Yeah, it was a great speech.
It's a huge monologue. Yeah, I was like, dude, that's some really fucking knowledge that he's dropping on this shit.
That's
as far as I got.
When that show got canceled, I was like, what the? When Newsroom got canceled, I was like, what the fuck? Because it was like really, they did a really cool thing with the show that I didn't understand until like episode 2 or 3. But basically, they took like real news stories and they showed like what it was like from like the newsroom perspective, and they were all like really good characters. Like Olivia Munn's character, I mean, this is a fucking long time ago, so I don't care about spoiling it. But there's basically she got cheated on. There's like a scene where she punched some dude in the face, and it's fucking hilarious. So definitely worth watching.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about Olivia, I obviously everybody loves her, but I feel like yes, she left G4. I don't know all the ins and outs of whether you can do some part-time or how much they filmed. I'm not even going to get into any of that. But what I will say is that X-Men Apocalypse shit, she has every reason in the world to be pissed about the fact that she played Psylocke, and Psylocke got very little screen time, very little words.
Yeah.
They fucking cucked the shit out of fucking Psylocke.
Well, it's kind of funny in the G4 reunion, freaking Olivia and Kevin was doing like a skit, and she comes in with a katana, and she's like swinging around all fucking badass, and Kevin's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm like I'm skilled with this shit. I can do shit all day." I was like, "Oh my god, it's so funny," because that's basically like her playing Psylocke in the X-Men movie.
So what's funny about that is that she posted on Twitter a video of her doing the twirls, and she knocks down a painting behind her while she's doing it. And so that's why I thought was really funny. They brought her out doing that same shit.
So I found the image of me at when I went to E3, or not E3, when I was at the G4 Comcast building. So yeah, this is what it looked like. It's Comcast Entertainment Group, and it had E, Style, and G4 Network all together.
Nice.
I can't really zoom in on the picture, but yeah. And it's like literally across the street from the tar pit.
Yeah, another thing that G4 doesn't get any credit for was they were the first network ever to televise esports. Now ESPN is on the fucking esports dick. You know what I mean? It's just like, could you imagine that? Like if if you went back to the G4 days when they first started doing arena and esports at all, nobody ever would have. If you told them it's going to be at ESPN in a couple years, they'd have been like, "Are you high?" and kind of get some of those drugs. Like, and now you're seeing it more, especially with the pandemic. Like more and more esports are being pushed, going mainstream. It's just like it's really amazing that this channel that did all these really cool things got drowned out by poor management. Because I mean, we all saw like when they started putting like cops on fucking repeat on the station, and then all these other nonsense shows like during daylight hours. Like I understand if it's like middle of the fucking night, yeah, I guess go ahead put on cops or some shit, but you can't put it on like fucking 3 or 4 in the afternoon and expect people to, because it's a totally different demographic,
But here's the thing that some younger listeners or viewers won't get. There was like this block of time where you felt like you would get all of the news about DVDs, all of the news about games, all the news about comics, all of the news about like stuff that to look forward to with big budget movies and shit. All from this like hour long of television of just Attack of the Show and obviously X-Play, or like back to back, and with a few others thrown in there as well. But you just got like everything. Obviously, you can go online, you can get all of that information, but it was all in one place, and you could just put it on in the background while you were doing whatever the fuck else. It was great, man.
Dude, one of the greatest shows that was on the network was fucking Code Monkeys, the 8-bit fucking animated series. Oh, that show was so fucking funny.
Super
that was like,
funny.
God, it was so good. I wish that would come back.
But yeah, once they started diluting shit, it was just like, it was just fucking annoying.
It was Cops This, Cheaters That. Fucking show.
Yeah. And it wasn't even new ones. It was always reruns.
Yeah,
it was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So what's hilarious about that is that everything we're talking about, they allude to in the special. Like they either make fun of what happened on the channel and some behind the scenes shit as well. So it's actually pretty hilarious. They saw a little bit of behind the scene hijinks about shit that fucked up for them and shit, but it's still pretty goddamn funny.
Well, it also, I know we're going on and on, but it was so important. But like, it felt like every host on there was semi-approachable and semi-our age. Mm-hmm. So it felt like it felt like almost people you went to high school or just out of high school were on TV and doing something big, and you could like they were talking about the same things that you cared about.
I mean, they kind of were very approachable. I ran into Jessica Chobot at the airport, and she was sitting down playing her PSP, and I was like, "Oh, hey, are you Jessica Chobot?" She was, "Yeah, hey." She shook my hand. She's like, "Hey, are you a fan of like IGN or G4?" I'm like, "Hell yeah." So we had like a little quick conversation.
I'm a fan of
she was really cool. Yeah, and then like I met Blair Herder. He was cool. I've met Chris Hardwick. He's very cool. And then I met Sarah Jean Underwood, who is very, very, very tiny. So they're all very cool to me. They're very approachable.
Oh, they talked about everybody thinking that Morgan Webb was like really tall in the, but she's not.
Is she not?
No, she's not.
Holy fuck! I thought Morgan Webb, no shade at all. I thought she was 6'9".
Well, they actually talked about it on the special because they were saying basically her and Adam are the same height. I think Adam's a little bit shorter.
They're the same height.
No, but I mean shorter in like as like average height for a man. I think he's shorter than an average height for a man. But she's always wearing heels, and there were some times where they would put her on a box, so she would look even taller. So yeah, because they showed a photo of like them two together, and like a panned out shot, and she's wearing heels. You could tell like without the heels, they would be basically probably the same height. So
Adam Sessler is 6 feet tall.
He's not 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
He is not 6 feet tall.
Right here on Wiki, it shows him.
I am not believing any of that fucking nonsense.
So Blue, there's this thing that they do for basketball, where they put a height online of people being 6'8" that are really 6'3".
Yeah, this is how I know it's bullshit, because it says that he's 6 foot, but then Morgan Webb is 5'7", and then on the show they both said that we're the same height. So they both agreed to that. So.
Oh man. Good shit.
And being 5'7" is fine. I'm not tall. I'm like 5'8", so I'm like, an inch taller than him. So 5'8" or 5'9". It depends on what I'm running out of. So
gotta have them heels on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta have them Prince heels. Play some basketball.
You know who was missing from the show though is Layla Kaylee.
Oh my fucking god, that one. Okay, I know they had a lot of great girls, beautiful women on there, but Layla, holy shit, with that fucking British accent voice, man, she did it for me.
Like Crows was the one that turned me on to the show. I think I was down for his birthday, and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta watch the show G4." I was like, "What, really?" And I started watching. I was like, "Yes, please."
Yeah, she was bad.
You know what's bad? I forgot how to spell her last name, so I looked up Layla Kaylee, and it went to Kaylee McEnany. I was like, how fucking dare you?
Oh. Shit. Fucking shit. Let's stay with some of the reminiscent stuff. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had a reunion show, goddammit. Anybody see this?
Yes.
Nope.
I watched it. Anybody else watch it?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man, it's
I have not seen it.
I thought it was going to be like an actual episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it was pretty much like a round table thing. So they had so it was Will Smith, Aunt Viv, black and white, or black and light Aunt Viv.
Light skin.
Yeah, light skinned one. They had Ashley, she was there. Carlton was there. They had that Butler was there too. Jeffrey. I was like, oh shit, I know this guy was still alive. But they also had Hillary. Hillary was on the show, but it was pretty cool. Like they talk about like some behind the scenes stuff. They went in deep on Uncle Phil. Like when they started talking about Uncle Phil, like I got a little misty-eyed. Like how much of an influence he was on the cast. Like he was like the real dad on the show. But like they talk about all the like behind the scenes stuff. Like Will every time when he would get ready for the show, like he'd be playing like crazy music in his room, and like everybody coming there and just hanging out and having fun. But dude, it was really good just to kind of see all the behind the scenes stuff. But like at the end, Will talked about how he had a sit down with Dark on Viv and kind of reconcile their whole situation, and like the stuff that she was going through that got her kind of kicked off from the show. It's kind of jacked up because she was going through like domestic violence stuff. Like she was pregnant in season 3 of the show, so her emotions were kind of all over the place, and that kind of caused her and Will to kind of bump heads.
Wow.
And so that's kind of why she got kicked off from the show. Well, she didn't get kicked. Will didn't get her kicked off from the show, but he helped get her kicked off the show. So when the next season, when they were renewing contracts, they were going to lowball her and they were going to cut some of her scenes, and she's like no, I don't want that. She didn't say like she didn't want to come back. She said no, like she didn't want this pay cut or whatever. And like, oh, okay, whatever, we're just going to recast you then. And that's basically what they did. Is they recast her. So yeah, it was. I recommend watching it. So you can probably find it on YouTube if you don't have HBO Max, because it's people are kind of copying it and posting it up on there, and you can usually find it for like good maybe 3 hours before it's taken down by YouTube. But it's definitely worth checking out and watching. But they do more, a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't want to go to. But like they bring in Jazz, and Jazz talk about how like this is something I didn't know about the show. So you know how Jazz always got kicked out of the house?
Yeah.
Like he always got thrown out of the house. I guess they did it so many times that they're like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. We're gonna stop like filming you getting thrown out of the house all these goddamn times. So they start reusing the same footage. So
Yeah.
the way that you knew that Jazz was gonna get kicked out of the house again is that he would wear the same outfit of him getting kicked out of the house. That's how you knew he was gonna get kicked out of the house. I was like, what the fuck? But like, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Like when Will was like kind of an amateur actor, like he had like tell signs that he didn't know. Like he had tell signs that you could tell that like, okay, he's taking this like way too serious. Like he's working too hard. Like he needs to just kind of relax and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely say check it out. I don't want to spoil it for you guys since you haven't seen it yet, but it's pretty funny to watch.
Good shit, man. Yeah, I just remember that was one of my fucking favorite shows and shit, and it was so fucking influential. So I plan on watching it, maybe even tomorrow while I'm waiting on some Thanksgiving shit. So we'll see. But it sounds like you recommended it, and it was legit. Okay.
Wow,
good shit.
reunion to reunion.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was kind of like, I wouldn't say it was kind of revolutionary, but like it's up there with movies like The Cosby Show and Different World and stuff like that. Like that's like a show a black they show black people in a positive way, basically, and like other shows that kind of show them like they're thugs and gangsters and this and that type of shit.
Well, I think the reason why the show works so well is because the Cosby Show, especially looking back on the Cosby Show, I think that Bill Cosby, he tried to make like this artificially wholesome show where they didn't address like a lot of issues. They addressed some, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was obviously revolutionary. I'm not going to take any of that shit away from the show that he made, but the fact that you didn't have hardly anybody, if anybody, ghetto at all in the show, like anybody from poor means, none of that, all that stuff was kind of like not even really talked about. But the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, obviously, it was kind of forefront because you had somebody that was poor coming to a rich part of town and living there, and then Will still had to deal with his past, especially the part where still almost made me cry was like when he was like, "Why don't you want me, man?" And I was just like, "Oh damn!" And like when his dad came back and all that shit, and when he had to go back to Bel Air, and it's just like those are real issues that I think that most of America wasn't really used to seeing. It was either you would see like either the super poor ghetto side of the African American experience, or you would see like this very not strange, but you would see like this idealized African American experience of like somebody being like totally on top, you know what I mean, and like dealing with that, but you never got to see like an interaction between the two. So that's why I think most people were attracted to the show, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I give credit too. I mean, Will, he wasn't the absolute first, but he was one of the biggest ones to go from a very successful but playful, fun style of hip hop, and then become this like blockbuster movie actor. But first was this show, and then the other thing to mention, just piggybacking on what Chrono said, like there were the episodes where Carlton and Will are like locked up and in jail.
Yeah.
On some BS shit. Nothing that they really did wrong. Wrong place, wrong time. Driving in Uncle Phil's Mercedes or something like that. They did. They touched upon some real stuff. They had a lot of humor, and then we also got to give real fucking credit to Quincy Jones, because he's the one that made this fucking show happen.
Yeah. What's funny is if you say Quincy Jones, that's like a young person today, they're like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Oh, damn! Yeah. Really?
It still happens. People were a friend of mine. He's watching Fresh Prince, and he's like, "Oh, who's Quincy Jones?" I'm like, so they don't know who Quincy Jones is, but they know who Rashida Jones is. Well, that's her dad, and. Damn. I'm like, Quincy Jones helped produce Michael Jackson's first two albums, or his first solo albums. Like, oh no shit! I'm like, oh my god. That's when I do the face palm.
Yeah, I mean he's a powerhouse.
Yeah, but for them, he hasn't been as forefront, out in the public, I guess, as much as we think of him over the last 15, 20 years. Since he's older. Yeah,
that's totally. I mean, even back then, I guess. Well, actually, no, because he was in some songs, so I can't even say that, because he was in music back when we were growing up. He still had especially in music videos, he was there. But yeah, it's rare today when you see a producer in the music industry not making any sort of appearance. Mm-hmm. And for him, he made shit happen, and he helped out a lot of upcoming artists, especially black artists in America. And I don't think he probably doesn't get enough credit today, but also these are different times. He was popular a long time ago. I don't know what he's doing right now, so I guess I'm part of the problem. But I do recognize who the fuck he is and what he's done to the music industry as a whole.
That's boss. And especially being so known for the music side with producing and jazz, R&B, all this other stuff. And then you have this incredibly successful sitcom that people are talking about 30 years later. You know what I mean? That you helped produce. So, I mean, shout out to fucking Quincy. And then Rashida, obviously, mega fucking talented, and everybody loves her from a comedic standpoint. So,
Holy shit, Clay the bartender just said he had no idea Quincy was Rashida's dad.
Oh, shit.
I mean, it's a common last name, Jones. So
damn.
Yeah.
But I mean, Clay's a little bit younger than us, so.
Now, here's the thing. I fact check me if I'm wrong on this, but I always thought that Rashida dated Pac back in the day.
I thought so too, but I mean that was still I think before his time. I think Clay is like in his 20s, so.
God damn,
Yeah.
Clay is young. Okay.
So I think when I graduated the Marine Corps, yeah, he's probably. If Clay was born in the 90s, I'd be surprised. Doesn't not say anything bad. You'll outlive me, obviously, so take solace in that shit, and you make great drinks. I don't, but yeah.
Wait, which one of Quincy's kids were married to one of the Jacksons?
That I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cause I know. Wait, was it Quincy or was it somebody else? Because I think it was one of the. I think his daughter had died. The one that married one of the Jacksons.
No idea.
You better fact check yourself on that one. I don't know.
Anyway, I looked up Layla Kaylee again, and yeah, she is fine as fuck. I'm just saying. I totally forgot about Layla Kaylee until Blue brought it up. Yeah, she's still fine. Jesus.
She was worth watching the show for. Yeah, there was obviously other stuff on there, but god damn, she was fine enough to just tune in for her.
Yeah, yeah. But she was like, I mean, she was like a guest host. So just every now and again you would see her.
Well, yeah, she did the Around the World segment or something like that.
Oh,
the Daily Feed.
Yeah, Daily Feed, that's what it was. Oh, God.
Man.
Somebody else to do it better.
See, she was gone by the time I started watching G4. And when I started watching, they had Sarah Jean Underwood, obviously. And then
she did great on that, too.
Yeah, but so on Attack of the Show, they had this segment called In Your Pants with Anna David and Olivia Munn. That's when I was watching. Like, Anna David was pretty fucking bad. I was like, God dang.
She's from Water Creek, I think.
Who?
Anna
David?
Yeah, Anna David.
Ooh, I mean, she was pretty close. I mean, she was like a therapist and all this kind of stuff. But she looked like Lisa Ann kind of.
She did.
I was like, damn, she bad though. But she was super smart. And she was like the female Dr. Drew at the time.
Like I feel like if when G4 comes back, they should get god damn it, the Stone Adulterer on there. Why is her name coming with a blank?
Ella Darling?
Yes, Ella should be on the fucking show. It'd be a perfect fucking match.
That'd be fun.
Ella should be on the show. Ella, if you listen to this podcast or any of your fans listen to this podcast, you should be on the new G4 TV. I think it'd be a perfect fit. Just to talk about nerdy shit, you know.
Yeah, and she is nerdy. She's genuine with it, so that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor and look up Layla Kaylee.
Layla Kaylee.
Oh my god. Look up her daily feed on YouTube, and there's a bunch of them up there, and they're all great.
God damn. Do it after the show, though. Do it after the show. Goddammit. You're gonna be distracting people.
Old
Ninja and Kronos, we have been like dodging this, and I want to give y'all both the floor on some Discovery. Goddammit, I know we haven't talked about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I missed the last episode though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I haven't seen the last episode either.
Okay, you went behind. Okay, that's fine then. So far the series has been excellent. The first one started off kind of funny. Old Ninja, I don't remember when Michael got kind of high.
So for me, it was only weird because the actor that he plays, what the hell's his name? Boone?
Book.
Or Booker. Book. Yeah. So that actor was on Supergirl this past season as Manchester Black. So every time I see him, he's basically dressed just like Manchester Black. The only thing he doesn't have the Union Jack jacket, but he has on his jacket, but he has like the same, like he literally wears the same costume. So I was cracking up. I was like, dude, this is literally Manchester Black in Star Trek. So it was actually pretty funny, but it was just interesting to watch like Star Trek Discovery reboot itself once again, pretty much.
Yeah, they've gotten away with this 3 times now. I mean, where they get to just start all over. And this time it's this time they go into the far future. I think it's like 900 years.
Yeah, it's 930 some odd years into the future.
So that's like very odd, and then like dealing with the Federation basically not existing in the very beginning of the show. Is there's like a cataclysmic event where basically any ship that had a warp capability exploded. So yeah, and so that obviously affected the vast majority of the Federation ships because they're all warp capable, and they just blew the fuck up. They call it the burn, and nobody knows exactly why. And we're getting like deeper in the season, like they're putting some clues together, but there's still no answers yet. But yeah, it's interesting to see like this whole dynamic between, Michael Burnham and Book, and they have like this super fucking sexual energy that doesn't get released for a fucking minute. I'm just like, can you guys just fuck now or what? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, even Philippa calls she calls out Michael Burnham, like she calls him her boyfriend. She's like, he's not my boyfriend. She's all that like tension between y'all should have been hooked up by now. I was like, God dang, it's like super crazy. And then like, so like the Federation is basically gone or in it is gone, but Starfleet is in pieces. So they're trying to reconnect with Starfleet, and Starfleet is like basically this like super, like it's literally a fraction of what it used to be. Yeah. And they're in this weird like subspace like anomaly type area. I mean, it looks cool, but there's some cool Easter eggs because they have like the 10th generation of the Voyager ship. Yeah. And they're like, what's that? And they're all looking at all this crazy future tech, and then Voyager shows up, and they have their biggest selling piece is that they have a whole database that's like the size of a planet inside the ship. And Cronus, I don't know if you watch the Star Trek shorts, but I think there's like an Easter egg in episode 2 that kind of links to one of the shorts. So I don't know if you watch Star Trek Calypso.
No,
where like the ship came. Basically, really quick, it's on CBS. You can watch it, I think, on YouTube. It's like maybe 15 minutes. It's this short where Discovery's 900 or 1,000 years into the future, and there's only one crew member on there. I guess he like he literally falls in love with the computer AI, and like the AI has to kind of let him go to rejoin humanity type thing. And there's a moment in season 2 where the computer's AI changes and it becomes the voice from that short.
Yeah, and it was
weird. It's like really weird, but it's like a nod, or I guess what planting the seed of what's going to happen later on. And right now, in that current episode, the captain believes that the information that they got from the planet evolved their AI, which will probably come into play later on, which explains Star Trek Calypso, which is actually a really good short. I highly recommend watching it. I think you can watch it on YouTube. I watched it on CBS All Access, but I think there's some other ways to watch it, YouTube being one. So it's been interesting so far. I'm liking the pace, kind of style of the second season, but rebooted itself and they have a clean slate. So there's a lot of stuff that they can explore, especially 900 years in the future and whatnot. So I've been liking it so far. I'm waiting to see the current episode because I'm behind by one. So
yeah, so I'll tell you what was really cool to me in this season was actually one of the new characters. And this is actually, I'm going to give Star Trek Discovery super kudos on doing diversity right, as far as I'm concerned, and what I'm concerned with. That's the only thing that matters. Anyway, they have a new character in the show that's non-binary, and they didn't hype it up as like some new non-binary character. They didn't tell you how to feel about this character before this character was introduced. I had no idea about this character, but the first time I saw this person, I was like, this is probably a non-binary person. And so ends up, yeah, it's a non-binary character, even though she goes as a she, but she looks like pretty much gender neutral. And then on like the second or third episode after she's introduced, like it turns out that she had a boyfriend that looks like a woman to me, which is fine, but it's just like all these things are like they don't come out and tell you these things, you know what I mean? Like in all these other diversity fucking nonsense shows, they make that like the selling point instead of telling the actual fucking story, right? But in this one, in this one, they tell the story of this character where that's how this character is, and when they show like the boyfriend, I'm like, okay, that's her boyfriend, cool. Like, and it happened, and like the story they tell about this character, like it's all like well written. It's not just they are, you know, non-binary, and that's all you should care about this character. It's like because when we first introduced this character, you're like, okay, this person's like kind of quirky. Can't tell really what gender this person is, but doesn't really fucking matter. Super smart person that was way smarter than everybody else in the fucking ship. And it was funny because there's like some headbutting between her and Stamets for a while. And I just liked the way that they did that. That they didn't just, you know, before the episode came out or give you some kind of disclaimer or some other fucking kind of stupid bullshit that they keep trying to do. They keep trying to force on people today. Is just tell the fucking story. If the story sucks, if the story sucks, people will let you know. If it's good, people will let you know. I'll let you know. Star Trek Discovery, the story that you're doing with Adira is a great story. She's a great character, and keep doing shit like that. And I hope that all of Hollywood takes note on like how to tell a story with a non-binary person or LGBTQ plus whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just tell their stories, and we'll figure it out. You know, like trust the audience. Don't trust your fucking stupid ass people that have no idea like what they're talking about when it comes to all these, you know, gender neutral or non-binary, whatever, blah blah blah. Like you're focusing on the wrong shit. Just focus on telling the fucking story. So
yeah, I definitely get that. I mean, they don't beat you over the head about this is this kind of person. I think Discovery kind of made that mistake in season 1. But I think they rectified it in this a lot because they focused literally on their relationship and not like what kind of pronouns that they needed to need. It was really about the survival of the person.
Well, and it also, they didn't focus on it first because it would be very odd for you to meet any new character that was not, you know, that came into like, I hate using these stupid ass fucking terms. I don't want to call them stupid, but they're just annoying to me. Gender conformities. Like if you met a character that was, say, a straight character, and immediately they're like, oh, this is my boyfriend, or I'm fucking this person, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I don't give a shit about that. Like, what the fuck can you do science-wise? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why when I first introduced the character, it's like, oh, she's a really smart character that knows all this fucking crazy science shit.
Yeah.
And then it comes out that she had a boyfriend or whatever, but it came into, like, the story because she's a Trill. So it was important to the story, not just important to, like, whatever the fuck else, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely important because it's a supremely traumatic event that happens during this relationship. And I think that, like you said, it was, I hate using this term, but it was organic within the story. And they didn't beat you over the head like, oh, these pronouns for these characters. Like, no, these people have this relationship and then something traumatic happens. And this person blocked this trauma out of their mind. And then you as an audience member, you get to see what happens and it moves the story forward. And I was like, oh, this is great. I don't need to care about like what kind of terms I need to use. I just needed to know that was happened that was super traumatic with this relationship, and it worked out. It worked out perfectly.
Yeah. I hope that, like I said, everybody takes notes and just do it that way. Just It was so well done.
Totally.
Good shit.
Jumping back real quick. So it wasn't when I mentioned that one of the Jacksons married Quincy Jones' daughter. It wasn't Quincy Jones. It was fuck what I posted in the chat.
Is it Elvis Presley?
No, it's Barry Gordon. Barry Gordon.
Oh yeah, Barry Gordon.
Jermaine married Barry Gordon's daughter, Hazel. That was who I got mixed up with, but yeah, I just actually I kind of want to jump back and do a quick, pour some malt liquor for somebody. If somebody, Warrior fella in the chat room just reminded us about it, but one of the owners for Ricky, the bar in San Leandro, passed away recently.
Yeah, good point.
So want to pour a little bit of cognac for him. If you don't know, Ricky's it's a sports bar in San Leandro. Actually, are they going out of business?
Yeah, they're shutting down. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, I wonder what the guy's real name is, or is it actually Ricky? It's Ricky, the actual Ricky that owns the sports bar.
Yeah, I mean, this was for fans of the Raiders. I mean, this was like Raider heaven, Raider Mecca, basically. Like they had nothing but all of like Raider paraphernalia all over the pretty much every inch of that place. You know, they had good sports bar food, beer, drinks, and whatnot. But this was like a place that was hard to get into every time the Raiders were playing. I went there many times, and it was always friendly. It was always a great place. So I was surprised to hear about him passing, and he was friendly with everybody who came there. So he was real personable and very approachable.
Yeah.
Rest in power.
It's kind of, I've only been there once, and the time I went was when I had an ankle monitor. Oh no, I didn't have a license. I didn't have a license, so like I Ubered there and I forgot my wallet, and so Lilo took me back home so I can get my wallet so I can come back. Actually, no, I had my license. I have any kind of form of payment, so I was able to like. She took me home, brought me back, and I was able to buy some beers and hang out with everybody.
Gotcha. All right. Let me mention something real quickly because I put it in the chat a couple times. I don't know if has anybody seen this new Onyx Equinox yet?
Yes, no. I have. I watched the first one.
Awesome. Yeah. Good. Brand new series. I think I haven't checked this week, but I watched it over the weekend. There was only one episode out. It's on Crunchyroll, and this one, let me give a shout out. The series creator's name is Sophia Alexander. This feels a lot like the Blood of Zeus or Castlevania to a certain extent meets the one on Netflix that we really liked, Seis Manos, with like Latin American mythology and whatnot mixed in there for basically a new anime series. But you got the Aztec kind of human sacrifice stuff going on. You got Aztec gods that are really difficult to pronounce some of these names. I'm not even gonna fucking try. And so far, I'm cautiously interested to see how this fucking develops. Kronos, what did you think?
I mean, it's good. I kind of think that calling it an anime is kind of stretching. I think that people are calling it anime because it's on Crunchyroll, but to me, it's like traditional sort of Americanized animation, which is fine. I just don't want people to hop on there and be like, "Oh, this is anime," but it's like, it's not anime looking, so like not at all. Which it's fine. It's more of like you were saying, it's like Castlevania or something like that, you know, or Blood of Zeus.
Is it dubbed?
No, it's in various different languages. It's dubbed. It's not in. It wasn't made in Japan, so it's made here. I believe in America. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, so far I really like it. I think it has a good start to it because it has to do with how do I say it? Like South American mythology or like Mexican mythology possibly as well, because they kind of move around a little bit in the first episode. So it's hard for me to tell. It looks like Mayan mostly to me, only because I'm ignorant to most of their gods, except for like a couple of them. But I love mythology in general. Like I'm a huge fan of Greek mythology, hence my name.
But it's saying that it's Mesoamerican.
Mesoamerican,
yeah. Mythology, yeah, that's what it's saying.
It's South American, Mexico.
Yeah.
It
looks dope.
Or Central American. South American, yeah, it's all the same, like area, but the culture is kind of mixed up over time. So, but yeah, I liked it because it showed like new gods. You know, it was fucking dank as shit. People were getting their throats ripped out and arms ripped off, and there's titties in it in the first episode. I was just like, all right, we're going there. All right, let's do this. So you get to see some petty ass gods and. It seemed really cool. Like, so if you watch this, keep an open mind. Like, if kind of treat it like you would treat watching Greek mythology or Roman mythology, because I think that's what people. I think people they get turned off with other cultures' gods only because they're used to like Greek mythology and Roman mythology. But all these other mythologies, they are just as interesting, if not more, if you just give them a chance. You know, just don't let the skin tone of the people telling the story bother you at all. And go ahead, man.
I'm glad you bring that up because here's the thing too. I didn't learn, at least in school, very much about Norse mythology.
Yeah.
You know, God of War, the 2018 God of War taught me more about Norse mythology than all of the Thor movies.
Yeah, all the Thor.
So,
all I know is Loki, Thor, and fucking what's the name of the king? Odin. Yeah, I thought
Ragnarok and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about Ragnarok. I thought Ragnarok happened down in Ragnarok.
But I mean, that's what's so cool though. Like in the right form, you can it can pique your interest in some fucking mythology, and you can be like, okay, I want to learn more about this god and why they did this and why they ate this, why they sacrificed this way, you know. And most of these gods have incredible personalities in mythology and whatnot. So so far, and again, it's super early on. I've only seen one goddamn episode, but I'm intrigued and want to see fucking more, and that's a good sign. And I think it's worth looking at and seeing if it's for you. I'm not saying it's Seis Manos quite yet, because that was a whole fucking season of kung fu badassery. But so far so good is what I'll say.
So wait, you didn't learn the story of Beowulf in school, Prodigy?
I actually didn't in school.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was later on some tangent that was non-school related.
Huh. Interesting.
But, yeah.
So it looks like the studio who does the animation for it is the same people who make like Sonic X, the Iron Man, the Last Airbender, Justice League, X-Men Evolution, the Batman. Yeah, it kind of has that feel like Justice, like Young Justice. It's got that animation style.
Yeah, people make him. So if you go to Crunchyroll and you click on it, you're like, oh, there's 7 episodes out. No, it's just one. It's just all in fucking different languages.
Dude, I don't know about you. I had the hardest time. It took me like 20 minutes or maybe 10 minutes of selecting the wrong language because it was like cutting off on my PS4 app. And so I went through Russian, French, Spanish, all these different versions. Now, one of my friends on Twitter who does But Why Though podcast, she was saying, obviously, I don't speak Spanish very well. I can understand a few words here and there, but she said that the Spanish dub is fucking excellent, especially with the pronunciations on some of these gods and foods and whatnot.
Well, I would hope so.
Like, I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the names right now. I'm like, man, no wonder you skipped on these names, because only one name on here I can probably say, and that's Isel.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody else is like McLantech. I don't want to say it because something might come alive.
You gotta summon the demons. That's hilarious. Actually, you know what? Blue, you should have
the Swedish.
You should have the Swedish watch it in Spanish.
Yeah. I might do that.
Do it. I know this is a weird tangent, but speaking of fucking demons, holy fuck, am I back into goddamn Doom? Goddamn it! Holy
people sleep on that shit. I fucking love it.
That shit got its fucking hooked in me. Okay, I know it's old. It's a 2016 game. Goddamn it! But because Eternal came out this year and it's dirt cheap on either on GameStop or all these Black Friday deals, I'm gonna pick it up tonight on one of them, maybe even PSN. And I was like, you know what? I never fucking finished Doom 2016. God damn, that is some bloody metal. It's like when the bodies hit the floor on repeat, fast action all the time. Shoot them, and fucking rip their guts out. God damn, I hate these demon scum.
Yeah, it's like one of the same thing happened to me. Like I stopped playing it for a while, and I was like, I didn't beat it. Let me go back and play it. And I beat it, and it's just it's one of the few games that punishes you if you are like being passive. Like if you're not constantly moving and shooting and fucking shit up, the game will destroy you, and it's fucking ruthless about it.
I couldn't agree more. The other thing is, even when you get the hang of things, it'll start getting harder and trip you up. Like some of these boss battles where you're like, oh, I took all his life down. Oh, wait a minute, new form, bitch.
Yeah,
God damn
exactly.
It. You know?
Why do I hear Latin music in the background? Oh shit!
Yeah.
You're all hearing Duel of the Fates pop off in the back. You're like, what the fuck?
God, and the music gets your fucking heart rate going. I can't wait to play Eternal.
Yeah,
like this shit, I can only handle like an hour at a time. My hands fucking cramp up.
Yeah,
my heart
yeah.
rate is going like I've been sweating like a slave and shit.
I gotta say, it's a shout out to the guy's name is Mick Gordon. He's the guy who does both the soundtracks. The second soundtrack there's a huge controversy over. I can't get all into because part of it's not stupid, but it's licensing issues and like mastering the tracks. But the actual game, the music is probably better than the first one. And it's just like it's one of those games to where, like literally, like you're playing the game normally, you're going through normal shit, and all of a sudden you see some demons, and the fucking soundtrack is like, go fucking kill them. And I don't know, like, until you play the game, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like, literally, in Amsterdam, it's like, go kill these fucking demons. And like, as you start killing it, the fucking music gets louder and louder and louder, and you keep fucking shit up. And they have such good like metal riffs and with some electronic hints as well. And it's so well done. Like, you don't understand like how much the music is amping you up until you take a step back, and then you're like, and you listen to it, you're like, oh shit, that's why you're moving so fucking fast. Like, the music is making you do it.
Well, you're 1,000% right. And then here's my other thing. There's low key crazy lore.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you're one of those people that like likes the lore of something, like you can ignore it to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Just kill demons and be a badass. But there's secrets. There's all this stuff about the Slayer and the prophecies.
Wait a minute. All right, because I know all the lore in the game, but you got to read to read all the lore in the game. So are you actually reading things in the games now, Prodigy? Has fucking hell frozen over?
No. I'm not reading. No, I'm not reading.
That's where all the lore is. Like, you have
I'm just saying there is lore. I'm not reading that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not reading it.
So you don't know where the Slayer came from and all that shit. And
yeah. I mean, but even when they like in the cuts, like the small cutscenes, and you hear that fucking deep raspy ass voice talking about the Slayer lives to kill. It's like, even that has, I know there's stuff behind it. And I know, like, Yellow Skull, Red Skull, and this happened on Mars, and you're going to this level of hell.
You don't know the actual lore. You know some of the lore, but if you actually read the Codex things, this is actually my small complaint about the whole series, is that to understand, like, the whole story, you have to actually read the codexes and shit like that.
Okay.
Because, like, goes through, like, especially in the second one, in Eternal, like, there's, like, multiple Slayers. And if you're not going through the codexes and reading about it, so you're just gonna be like, okay, things happen. I killed stuff. There's bigger demons now, but there's like a whole like. I wish they would, if they make another Doom, which they should, but it might be on the Xbox. It might be on the Xbox Series X because it's Bethesda. They need to actually work on like the cutscenes for the lores, because they have cutscenes in the game, but it's for like current shit. Like, they need to have like flashbacks to lore and shit like that. Like, put some fucking time and money into like actually telling the story in a visual way. You're a fucking video game, not a fucking book. And I understand. Like, I don't mind. Obviously, I read the fucking lore. I don't have a problem with it. But it's like, it's like you're making me literally bathe in blood to a metal soundtrack, and then I pick up some lore, and I have to fucking slow everything down and read it. Like, I mean, you don't have to read it, but I'm gonna read it, and it's just like, it's a weird like, but it's either a fucking 1,000 miles per hour the whole time, or not. Like, you need to fucking pick one.
Yeah, and maybe the reading of it will happen. Like, I'm gonna play this again. So, and probably my second playthrough or something, I'll probably pay attention right now. But these demons need to be killed, like, immediately.
The music's telling you to do it.
God damn, them summoning. I'm fucking loving it.
Well, and it's crazy.
I may beat that tomorrow.
Doom in VR is fucking crazy too. Like, I played, just the demo alone was fucking. I should have got the game. I think it's. Let me see how much it is right now. But Doom in VR was really great.
I still gotta set up VR in here.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah, I still gotta set up VR in here. I think I have enough room. So,
dude, you gotta try some of the new shit that came out. Like, I'll send you over a list of games you should play. Like, even like your daughter should try them out. Your older daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue.
What's up?
Blue. I'm calling you out. Don't be a bitch. Why don't you play Resident Evil 7 in VR?
I can't do horror game, man. I can't fucking do horror game. Like, I literally paid for paranormal activity in VR, and I've only gotten inside the house. I got inside the house, creepy shit happened, I was like, fuck this, I can't do it.
You know what?
I feel like people play the game all fucking day and laugh at them and say, "Yo, you little pussy," but I cannot play that goddamn game.
Even playing zombie games, like basic zombie shooter games, is creepy as shit in VR.
Like, yeah, I played those because it's fun and stuff like that. Because you turn around and zombies like right up on you. But like Paradigm Activity, it fucks your head. It's like there's a spirit inside the room scaring you and shit. Nah, I can't do that shit.
I had trouble, like, I had to take so many goddamn breaks with RE7. I didn't even play it in VR. That shit was fucking spooky as goddamn shit. Like,
Yeah.
and it's, here's the other thing too, on the PlayStation Collection, it's one of those games you get for free.
Oh, man.
I need to tag the games and like not download them because I only have so much room on my hard drive. But,
oh yeah, that's true.
That's another like fuck you move by Sony. It's like, oh yeah, here's a PS5. Here's fucking 21 games you can't download all at once because the hard drive's so small. Thanks, bitch.
It's so weird because like isn't it the PS4 Pro? Isn't it like 1 terabyte? So they going 1 terabyte?
I think it's like 1 or 2, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I have a 4 terabyte external, so it's not a huge deal, but it's not an SSD. So, you know, it's...
Dude, right now Costco's got an 8 terabyte external hard drive for like I think like 150.
Yeah, but this is the problem though. Is like you can't play PS5 games on an external hard drive.
Yeah.
So it's like
gotta wait.
Yeah, they have literally. Sony's got 3 months maximum to get their shit together with the external hard drive.
Yep.
If they don't get it together in the next 3 months, people are gonna be fucking pitchforks and fucking torches with Sony.
Because here's the thing, in 2021, there is a lot of games dropping. Like, you know, actually, fuck it. Even just in a couple weeks, man, I still think that it's going to be another big game for Cyberpunk 2077. That's in a few more days, hopefully.
Yep. But the thing is, so with Cyberpunk, it's okay. Because Cyberpunk will not have the PS5 version really until a couple months later. So you don't have to install it on your actual... I can install it on my PS4 hard drive externally, and it'll be fine. I mean, it'll still play better, but it won't be the PS5 experience. But the problem is just like... I mean, more and more games are going to come out, and there are still 0 fucking options for this thing. For extra storage. And like, man, 664 gigs of storage isn't a lot, especially when Call of Duty Black Ops, which... I'm almost like, fuck this game at this point. I don't even want to fucking play it anymore. Because it's so fucking buggy and shit like that. Did I talk about last week where, like, the whole zombie mode thing? You can't play it. You can't play it co-op?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. And also the multiplayer. Yeah, anyway. That takes up, like, a sixth of the hard drive. At least a sixth. So, you know, if I installed everything with all the patches and all that shit, it's going to take up... almost a third of my hard drive, you know, and it's for one fucking game. And you know, I'm gonna keep railing against like you don't need to make games this fucking big, especially when they're not that technically diverse.
Yeah,
you know, it's just it's very annoying to me. But anyway, hopefully they'll get the shit together because if they don't, then I mean this is where Xbox can fucking get in there, because Xbox already has. I'm pretty sure I know they have an architecture for an external hard drive they can like just plug in. I don't know if they're out yet, but there's like they have this whole like. SSD stick system. There's like a slot in the back where you can just slide it in.
Okay.
And I know internally in the PS5 you have like a M2 slot. But you have to open up the whole fucking thing, and nothing is compatible yet. So.
Gotcha.
Damn. Yeah, with the Xbox, they're working with Seagate for their SSD expansion, and apparently it's supposed to be out like within a month or January.
So it's not
like they already said.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for an external you just plug in the slot and you're good to go. And I think it's supposed to be 1 to 2 terabytes. Not exactly sure.
Yeah, well that's another problem that people aren't prepared to hear right now. I'm gonna keep saying it though. When the external drives get announced for the PS5, and there's any sort of drive that's compatible with the PS5 that's gonna give you the same PS5 experience as the internal drive. Be prepared to fucking shell out your ass. When I say shell out your ass, I'm talking about the actual cost of a PS5. Again.
Yep.
If you want to get a 4 terabyte SSD with the same performance, it's probably going to cost you like $500.
God damn.
So,
but you can still play. You can still use an external hard drive only to have PS4 content on there, right?
Yes, but that's you're still getting a PS. I mean, don't get me wrong. The graphics are a little better. I mean, they are better, but the load times are still existent. You know, like you're not getting any of that. Like I was playing.
I don't know yet. I don't have a PS5.
You'll see. Like once you play Miles Morales, and you literally in the game in 14 seconds. and then you try and play like Ghost of Tsushima, and you're like, why are there load screens? What are we doing here? And Ghost of Tsushima has like infamously like not a lot of load screens, but just booting up the game. When you start booting up Miles Morales, it's like 14 seconds and you're fucking web swinging, kicking ass and shit.
Nice. Yeah, man.
All right, can we talk about the Animaniacs? Please.
Which one?
Animaniacs.
Oh yes. Yeah. Animaniacs. Oh my god.
Prodigy, have you not watched this yet?
I need to go grab
I haven't seen it quite yet, but go ahead.
Did you watch it back in the day?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot. So, Old Ninja, why don't you go ahead and set up?
Woo! Animaniacs, the revival. I mean, it's just called Animaniacs. It's on Hulu right now, and holy shit, they came out swinging out the gate. So all the episodes are available, but they only brought back obviously the Warner Brothers and the Warner. So Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, and then Pink in Their Brain is back. So basically, they're about half-hour episodes, but the first half is usually the Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister, which is about the first 15 minutes. And the last 15 minutes is usually Pink in the Brain, or sometimes it's about 10 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes is some random like skit involving all of them. But man, the first episode was like crazy because they literally talk about reboots being like trash, and like how Hollywood is trash because they can't be imaginative, and how everybody's a sellout. And then at the end they're like, well, you guys sold out to Hulu, and they're like, well, we're the Animaniacs, so we can sell out. And they're literally sitting on piles of money, and then they have money that spells out Hulu in the background. It's hilarious. They trolled Donald Trump on almost every episode that I've seen so far. It's been crazy, man. They still have their
Blue's got Wacko.
It's still, they still have their humor, they still have the grossness, but it's like up to date. It's for like kind of the current stuff. They like they literally joke about the production process of the show. They joke about political stuff. They joke about the internet because they talk when they are reintroduced, they're kind of still stuck in 1997 or 96, and they need to get acclimated. Or is it 98? Yeah, they need to get acclimated, and so Yakko swallows a tablet, saying, "Oh, I can get all of human knowledge in this easy to swallow tablet." The tablet is literally like an iPad, so he swallows it, and then he has this like freak out where he basically gets current, up to date about technology. They still do a song and dance sometimes, but it's funny, it's not like a Disney fucking musical. They like troll like a lot of social media. They troll Trump, they troll what else?
People got mad because
they troll politics.
Well,
they troll each other.
Well, they got mad because they trolled Johnny Depp, and people got super mad about that shit.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one either. I know
it was
I think it was someone brought it up. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that.
It was like literally a half a second of saying that it said that Johnny lies, and I was just like, shit. I don't give. They made fun of so many people. Like I don't really give a shit at this point in time.
Where are they talking about the Amber stuff and the?
Well, I don't. It didn't say specifically, but that's what obviously everybody jumped to. Was that Johnny lies? I'm just like, okay. They made fun of a lot of other shit too, so even themselves. So
it's like rapid fire though, because they go through a lot of shit.
My favorite thing when they're making fun of each other is when Wacko is he throws fucking salt or shade on fucking or Yakko doing the fucking the country song.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we all can't. He basically says something like, we all can't be as cool as you doing the country song or something like that. I was fucking dying laughing when he said that.
Yeah, it was hella funny. That was hella funny.
This Wacko stuffed animal or bear or thing I have, this is from 1996.
It's probably worth like $3 million right now.
Yeah,
I've had this thing for so fucking long. I think I got it from Great America like way back in the day. Like I was 17 when I got this. Like holy shit!
Yeah, that's worth like $1 million right there.
I should look it up.
Can I ask? I haven't seen it yet, but I gotta ask this question. Maybe they address it on the show too. But they were basically spokespeople for Warner Brothers, like. And this is the Hulu show, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the very first episode, they troll Hollywood, including Warner Brothers, and how they sold out to Hulu. I guess it's on Hulu. It's not on HBO
Wow.
Max. I mean, they talk
Wow.
about how they sold out. The way it starts out, literally the very first few seconds is they do a Jurassic Park parody, and they basically were talking about how they came back from obscurity to basically be relevant again, and it's hella funny. And they're like, "Well, we're back." They're like, "Yeah." They show Steven Spielberg because he's executive producer, and he's like, "Yeah, we're back," but he's holding money from Hulu and shit. It's fucking hilarious. They troll Brothers because they live on the Warner Brothers lot, and they're trolling about how like things are different. Like things used to be better back in the day, and now everything's like shit. It's fucking hilarious.
I will tell you the
There's
greatest.
no, I haven't seen all of it. I've only seen like 5 episodes. Pinky and the Brain, I think, has definitely stepped up their game. They're just as hilarious. Like Brain he actually conquers the world using social media. Like instead of Al Gore inventing the internet, Brain invented the internet, and it's fucking hilarious. And then like when he realizes that he gets his 15 minutes of fame for conquering the world, but then like a talking pig outshines him, so he gets pissed and he has to devise a new plan. So it's fucking great. I'm loving it so far.
What I really love about the show is that as an adult, I can understand probably 100%, probably like 99% of the jokes. Like when I was a kid, there was jokes that like went over my head. Because the show, if you go back and watch it now, there's like a lot of it was geared towards adults. And so if you watch it as an adult now, you're going to pick up like every fucking thing they're putting down. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like all these innuendos and all these fucking crazy things that they're saying. Like it was not really a kid's show. Like it was funny to kids, but there was so much adult content that was like behind all the jokes that I think this is like the perfect time to really come out with this show. I mean, it's perfect, but also kind of a shitty time. Because you have like the whole cancel culture thing, and you already see people that they're trying to cancel because of Johnny Depp, because of one guy, and it's like, listen, I understand what Johnny Depp is going through. It's pretty unfortunate, but I hope he gets his justice. I think Amber Heard is a piece of shit, but also it's a fucking joke. So and I think that
it's kind of funny because like the opening theme music for the show, like they kind of talk about the whole like trying to be like gender neutral and this and that, like. Because before they had, like, the way the intro was pretty, like, I don't know, it would have been canceled right away in today's culture. But, like, they kind of make a spoof on that about how culture is totally different than it was back then. But, like, you know, they still have, like, kind of the rhythm and theme kind of going with the intro of the song.
Do they have the Hello Nurse, or do they completely avoid that shit?
So far, no nurse.
Yeah, they avoid that shit.
Yeah, no nurse yet, but do kind of they make jokes about it. There's a joke about it, I think, in the 4th episode.
I mean, just because they're missing the Hello Nurse and a couple other things, they still are really skirting the line with like some really edgy shit. Like when they had President Trump as like a cyclops on an island,
that shit was hilarious.
I was fucking rolling. I was like, "Are you fucking for real?"
Oh, that shit was hella funny. I have the best island.
Yeah.
You know, being a two-eyed monster.
Oh shit! That shit was hella funny. So if you ever noticed, this is a tip. If you go back and watch the '90s stuff, every time there's an adult-centered joke, Wacko would always be like, "All right, folks, thank you for coming. Good night."
Yeah.
There's an episode from the original where they go to the Oscars, and there's a lot of jokes that I was like, I'm surprised the show didn't get yanked. They make a lot of like innuendo jokes that if you're a kid, you're paying attention to all the characters that they're showing, but when you hear them make the jokes and you go back, you're like, holy shit, how did this not get pulled? Like this shit was crazy. And just like now, they kind of skate the line a bit. So
what got me back in the day, I still need to see this show. I'll probably watch some over this long weekend, but the Good Feathers shit was what got me because like, I mean, for those who haven't seen it, like, Goodfellas is one of the most violent fucking mobster movies you're gonna fucking find. Like, you know what I mean? And they talk about Casino on there a lot, too. But they were talking about all those classic Italian mafia, Scarface kind of movies and shit. And they would have these, like, cartoonish, like, pigeons on there. But all the jokes were about the real movies. That's what got me, you know? Did they bring any of that back, Goodfellas?
Not yet that I've seen, yeah.
Not that I've seen.
They have Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs, but they talk about the other characters in one episode. It's fucking great.
So outside of Pinky and the Brain, there's only been one other character that I've seen that made a comeback.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fucking hilarious because I never saw that coming until they're like talking about it. I haven't seen the other one. I'm only like 5 or 6 episodes in, but so far I've only seen one that they brought back.
So they also brought back the mime guy because when they do the Olympics, when they're like when the Arnold Schwarzenegger the guy throws them and stuff like that inside of the tent, and they hit that scoreboard. There's a guy playing the piano. He used to be a character too. So if you watch the episode and watch the one with the character you're talking about, he posted up on the wall as like as a stuffed animal or whatever. But he's in the show. Just for that one episode.
It's funny because in the original they had their the boss. He was the Warner Brothers CEO. He was on the show. He's a little angry guy, and like apparently he's dead or something. But there's a picture of him on the wall of the new CEO, and the new CEO is a woman, but she's still kind of a bitch. But it's still pretty fucking funny.
And they make fun of her like being a woman too.
Oh yeah.
And they even have like bits with. Prodigy, go ahead. You've been trying to talk for a minute.
I was just going to really quickly mention a shout out. Like, Cree Summer did some voice acting. Obviously, she's infamous for doing all kinds of characters. She did Elmira. It sounds like Elmira might not be back on here, though, so far.
Yeah.
So I thought Elmira was Tiny Toons.
Okay, my bad. But didn't she voice someone else on here? Or am I tripping?
She probably did. She probably did either Slappy Squirrel or
somebody.
Or Buttons and Mindy or something.
Okay.
Somebody, but still, I'm loving it so far. I'm only like maybe halfway through, but so far it's been hilarious.
Yeah,
are they the original voices?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even Pink in the Brain.
Shit.
So
nice.
It's been it's a really nice throwback of just like shit that you liked when you were a kid, and it's still it holds. I was worried that it wasn't gonna hold up, but they've even made jokes where like they literally admitted that hey, we're writing this in 2018. And this event might not be true when you're watching this. So it's just like it was really funny. That's great writing. Great. Yeah, so yeah, I mean definitely watch it. Even if you didn't watch Animaniacs, if you're too young to watch it back in the 90s or whatever, check out this new show. It's really well done. I really like the way that they do caricatures of people because I miss like the old school caricatures of people. It's like remember like. Mad Magazine used to make really caricatures of people, and this show does the same deal. It's like the same like over the top caricatures of people, and the reason why I do it is because it's hard for somebody to sue when you make such an overt caricature of somebody, and especially in these days you have to like really go over the top to do that. Go ahead, Blue.
No, I was just saying that Elmira, she does appear. She's from Tiny Toons, but she does appear on Animaniacs. She have an episode where she's on there, but she is. Cree Summer does the voice of Elmira, but that's the only character that she's done that's related to Animaniacs.
Nice,
good shit.
Yeah, check it out. I mean,
but she's got
recommend
a laundry list of fucking the shows she's been on.
She's super prolific. Ready Player 2, y'all. Blue and Chrono. Blue has that wince in his face. What's going on now?
Oh shit! Oh, does it got the book?
Yep, I got this. Yeah, 30% off. I picked this up like a few hours ago. So
wow, 30% off already?
Yeah, it's 30%. I mean, 30% off the listed price. So the listed price, I think, is like
pretty good though.
Yeah, so this is like $20. This is like $22.
You get from Target?
I went to Target and got this here, and so I had to go back because when this was out, I think this came out on Tuesday. They're sold out.
Wow!
I went to 3 different places, all sold out. I went back today, 2 copies left, and I managed to pick this up. Ready Player 2. I haven't started it yet.
You know where it wasn't sold out? Audible. I'm just saying.
Yeah. That was in my inbox when I woke up in the morning.
Yeah, I like having my hardcover and get the whatnot. So this is good. Ernest Cline. Hopefully he does it again. I'm looking forward to starting to read this. I might try to read this weekend, but we'll see. I might hold off.
So Blue, have you started reading it or listening to it?
I'm listening to the audiobook.
So I'm about halfway done with the book.
Oh shit! I'm like 5 chapters in, maybe, or three or 4 chapters in.
Okay.
I'm at the point where he. Oh god, I don't want to.
you about, yeah. Damn it, man.
It's all good, man.
Like I haven't. So Ready Player. So if you read Ready Player One, Ready Player One is about a VR like Oasis world where people can just check out from the world and do stuff in VR and stuff like that. But Ready Player Two kind of plays on a little bit more on not just VR but like they're kind of okay. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't.
The book just came out.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on the book only because I can almost foresee like the way the reviews are gonna go.
Yeah, I kind of have an idea of what's gonna happen, but like, what's so great about it is that it continues from book 1.
Yeah.
Like it literally it's 10 days after the first book, and if you're doing an audiobook, Will Wheaton's doing the voice again,
which is awesome.
Which makes it great.
Yeah.
Which it makes you wanna listen to the first one first, and then roll over into the second one. Just because it's almost seamless if you get rid of the thank you for listening to Audible.
Yeah.
Read by Will Wheaton. If you get rid of that part, it just streams, it just sings cut over. That'd be great. But I'm liking it so far. Like I'm pumped to finish this fucking book.
I mean, I'm liking the book so far too. But they're gonna be. Ernest Cline has left himself open to criticism, from reviewers, of the book being too similar to the first book, and I think that it's sort of valid. But at the same time, I think that even Ernest Cline's other book, Armada, he has the same similar writing style.
That one.
Yeah, he makes a lot of pop culture references. That's like just the way he is, Like if you're reading an Ernest Cline book and thinking that the dude's gonna be,
original,
like a Stephen King or some prolific author, he makes enjoyable books. Don't get me wrong, but they are not the best well-written books in the world.
It's kind of like,
and I'm not saying that.
Like with the Back to the Future books, it's basically the same story, just told slightly different.
Yeah, and he's gonna catch some criticism for that, but I'm still enjoying it. And obviously I'm way further along than everybody else, but I'm still enjoying the book. I'm gonna finish it. But yeah, I think that most of the criticism that you're gonna see is that people are gonna feel underwhelmed because it was too similar to the first book. And I'm just like, what the fuck did you honestly expect? I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, like I wasn't expecting like some far off departure from, he has a formula that he's using, like, and it's his formula, and its formula works very well. And I think it's probably still gonna be a bestseller. It's gonna sell a shit ton of books, but I think that when people it's like watching a porn movie and expecting great actors. It's just like you know what you're here for. You know what you're here for. And for me, I'm gonna keep enjoying the book.
Well, one interesting thing is that I kind of wish I didn't see the movie, just because. So when you're reading a book, you basically create your own image of the characters. Like you expect them to look this way and this way and this way and that way, right? But like since I saw the movie, every time I think of the characters, I only can picture the movie version. Like my imagination can't pull back what I had as a view of that character.
You know what's weird?
Which kind of sucks.
That only happens to me for H. That's the only character where
for me, for H too.
It's only her. Like everybody else, I have like my own like version of them in my head, but only for H is it that one woman.
Black woman.
Name. Yeah, but everybody else, it's like they are not the movie characters for me. Because I didn't like the movie. I felt bad for that movie. It should have never been made.
Yeah.
Only because, like, if you read the book, there's too many pop culture references for any single company to buy all the rights to all those pop culture references. And so, go ahead.
But it's not the pop reference that's the problem. They didn't stick to the fucking storyline whatsoever.
Yeah,
like,
but
they didn't have like the Easter eggs and the keys, and then like how the characters actually find them and this and that. Like it was just.
Well, no, man, that's part of the problem though, is because like all the stuff that you're talking about, they're so tied into pop culture references.
Yeah,
that they could not like possibly put them in there. It's just like it's okay to like if you're writing a book, you don't have to fucking get copyright fucking okays on that shit because you're just writing about it. I can write about anything I want to as long as I don't put the fucking music in the goddamn because you can't put if you put in lyrics to a song. You can't get the copyright infringement. You know what I mean? But once you put it on, audio visual, like you're fucked. Yeah. So I think that's like some of the magic that came with like the first book, and I think that's actually might be part of the problem with actually this second book because I think that people are they're gonna read this if they watch the movie and they start reading the book. They're like, why are there so many pop culture references in this? Because that's the way he writes. I mean that's the whole thing from like the first book, and you need to get all these really obscure references to really understand the books and these characters, but it's still a legit gripe that I'm not gonna say just ignore it, but it's just something that people you should be okay with it if you're used to his books, and I think that most people are likely not used to his writing style, and I think he's gonna catch a lot of shit. I think it's probably gonna be his lowest reviewed book. Because they made a movie about it, and then people are going to be like, oh, well, this is not what I expected, and I feel bad. Like seriously.
It's really interesting that because I'm looking on I'm looking at Wiki. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but it says the actual physical book came out yesterday as well as the audio book.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like for an audiobook to come out at the same time as the actual book.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's unheard of, but it's crazy.
It's rare, but also at the same time, I mean, he knew that a lot of his sales came through Audible, and he had Will Wheaton already on tap. So I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you? I don't know why more books. This is what bothers me. I listen to a lot of books in Audible, and like a lot of books that I listen to on Audible, like I'm caught up with all these series, and I have to wait like weeks, sometimes months, for the Audible version to come out. And it's like, why not just release them both on the same fucking day? And I mean, he did it. Kudos to Ernest Cline doing this and Will Wheaton doing this too. But it's just like, why can't they all do this? I mean, why do you have to like do all this whole? Actually, well, there's a couple books that are a little different, but it's just fucking annoying.
I mean, I can understand. I kind of like looking at it from like a movie perspective, how like movies might get released in like Asian countries and stuff like that before it's released here, but I just think I agree with you though. Like it should be released at the same fucking time.
Yeah, I mean they have plenty of time to record an audio recording before the print book comes out, and it's fine. But I think a lot of it is just it's old word thinking. It's old word shit. This is something that we can say as like Gen Xers. It's just stupid old tech shit because people don't want to like move on to like to the new world because we grew up in a time. I think when I think of Generation X, it's like we grew up in a time where the internet didn't fucking exist. All right, so like in our childhood, the internet was gone, and so anytime you read about who's Gen X, who's fucking millennials, blah 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 blah, like people try to say like I was born in the fucking 70s. And they try to like keep moving the millennial thing backwards and backwards. But no, the millennial thing happens when you fucking were born and the internet was a thing.
Yeah.
That's, to me, where most people, is the most valid thing.
Yeah.
Did the internet exist when you were born? Yes. Okay, well then you're probably a millennial or something past that. If it didn't exist when you were born, then you're likely not a millennial. Because the internet was a huge deal. People don't seem to understand that. But yeah, I think that people, they want to keep getting the print version out first. And then do the other extra technological bullshit afterwards because they want to get the most they can out of physical copies. But it's such antiquated thinking that it's ridiculous. What's the fastest way to get your fucking any sort of medium out there? It's through technology. Even with a fucking book, it's digital. Like you get a goddamn Kindle. You know what I mean? So why not have somebody write your book, have it edited, whatever the fuck, and then have somebody narrate it. And then drop the book, the physical book, the Kindle, the digital book, and the audio book at the same time. Because you're getting all that momentum all the same time. If it gets, especially if it gets great reviews, and you have a good narrator, like that's more momentum that you're gonna have going forward. It's more sales you're gonna get. If there's a problem with digital, I guess the way you're getting paid through digital, that's a different conversation. But as far as I'm concerned, people are still getting paid through digital means. So please keep dropping these audio versions along with the print copies. Like there's no excuse anymore. If Ernest Klein can do it, everybody can fucking do it.
It's kind of interesting. I actually just read a survey. I mean, if you have a Costco membership, you get the Costco Connect, and then there they have like the Costco survey, and they literally had a survey on there for like what kind of form of how do you absorb your content or whatever. Do you either use a Kindle, you actually read the physical book, or you do audible or audiobooks. And Kindle was the number one, like the highest percentage of what people use for reading books. Mm-hmm. Physical book was number 2, but audibles was like, it was close to reading a physical book. But like, looking at those numbers, like if somebody was to buy an audiobook, like it wouldn't really hurt your figures because the amount of people who are doing audiobooks isn't really that much. So. And like for me, like I own the books that I own on Audible. I actually own the actual physical books too. Like it's just easier to have. It's kind of convenient to be able to, because with Audible you're able to they do this thing called like Read Sync or something like that.
Yeah, Whisper Sync.
Or Whisper Sync or something like that. Yeah. So basically, you can listen to the audiobook and look at the actual book, and the words would like highlight the words as it goes along in the book. And it will turn the pages, which I think is really cool. Because a lot of times when I read a book, like I'll read a book, I'll read a page, and I'll read it over again because my mind started fucking wandering. Even though I was sitting there literally looking at the words, my mind would start wandering. I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? I have to go back and read it again.
Yep. Yeah, I think when I posted that I had Ready Player 2 and that I just downloaded it, and Blue was like, holy shit, you have 174 books or something like that on Audible. Yeah. And I was like, bro, I literally have, so these are like my... These are my Jabra Active Elites, the 74s or whatever. And I literally walk around with these almost all day. I shower with these fucking things in. I listen to audiobooks.
God damn.
It's the reason why I got the Active Elites, because they're waterproof. Mm-hmm. I listen to audiobooks like a lot. Like not the vast majority of my day, but a lot of my day I listen to audiobooks. If I'm doing dishes, if I'm folding laundry, if I'm sitting there with my daughter and she's watching some fucking kids show, I'm listening to a book. So I can't do that with a physical book. I can't fucking do dishes or take a shower or fold laundry with a physical book. So, I got shit to do. No, I'm not shitting on physical books. Like I love physical books, but when it comes to like time and like this digital age, like come on.
Yeah, like I have to say, like my favorite time to listen to audiobooks is when I'm driving. Like when I'm driving in a car. Nowhere to go, just listen to audiobook. Cause like when I went down to the Swedish and I went down to LA one time, and I played Ready Player One, and like it's a good maybe 8-9 hours, and it just kept us entertained the whole fucking trip down there. It was probably like my 3rd time listening to it. Yeah. I think I've done the audiobook for Ready Player One 4 times, and I want to do a 5th time again just before I continue Ready Player One or Ready Player 2.
Hey, listen, I hear you guys. For whatever reason, I've tried, and it just has never worked for me. But I like long, obviously, podcasts and whatnot too. So I'll usually do that on the audio stuff. But it is what it is. Everybody has their, as long as you're reading, everybody has their preference.
I just finished. I finished 2 new audiobooks. So I did, because if you didn't listen to the podcast last week, your boy Blue about to be a daddy. But I listened to 2 podcasts. I did the Happiest Baby on the Block. Not podcast, audiobook. I did that one, and what was the other one I did? Baby Wise. No, I did the Baby Wise, which is the Baby Wise basically talks about like feeding schedule and stuff like that. But Happiest Baby on the Block talk about the whole 4th trimester and like swaddling your baby and this and that, which is kind of cool. It was really good to read and listen to. So I recommend those books for anybody who's about to have a kid. But I'm new, so I don't fucking know.
That's good. It's good reading. Let's get into this. Chappelle obviously had some really big and possibly even confusing news for some people. this past week. He was talking about boycotting his 03 to 06 Chappelle show, which was on Netflix, because they don't pay him for those. He got into like some really shitty deal back in the day with Comedy Central, and he signed this contract, but it resulted, even though he was the series creator, the executive producer, and obviously the star, he didn't have any fucking profit that he would be making from it being now streaming on Netflix and gaining a whole new audience. Now, I'll rewind the tape a little bit, back 14, 15 years, for those who are a little bit younger and may not remember. When the Chappelle show was on, it was a fucking blockbuster for both those seasons. And then when DVDs were obviously huge, when it came out each season on DVD, it was even more of a blockbuster. Yeah, everybody had Chappelle Show season 1 and season 2 on fucking DVD. It was like gangbusters, like on some mid 2000s PS5 kind of level in terms of demand. It was huge. I'm disappointed that I guess he signed this shitty deal for not having the licensing stuff, or getting any royalties or whatever. But I gotta give some props to Netflix, because they removed it, the Chappelle Show, after his complaints, and they want to play nice with him because he's had a whole bunch of big hit stand-up specials on Netflix of late. What do y'all think of this?
Well, one quick thing is that, like, Dave Chappelle was on SNL, and he had made a comment about this. He talked about how, like, something about, like, if I was talking to my ancestors who were slaves, they'd be like, oh, you're still a slave because they got you working hard, you're not getting paid for it. And that's basically the whole kind of what started the floodgate about the whole Netflix special, because he talked about how, like, Netflix had a show on their streaming service, and there were thousands of people were watching it, but he wasn't getting paid for it, basically. And that's kind of what started this whole trend, I believe. I remember he did talk about that on SNL.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Dave Chappelle has talked about his issues in a sort of a nice way, with Comedy Central before. It's one of the reasons why he left and went to Africa for a long time. Part of it, obviously, was because of dealing with fame. Because it's hard dealing with, especially him. I mean, he was a decent. To me, he's one of my top comedians of all time. If you haven't watched Killing Them Softly, that's like top 5 stand-up specials ever for me. Easily in the top 5, probably in the top 3. But when he talks about, like, what he went through with Comedy Central and how it was like losing some of his creative, how do I put it? It wasn't rights, but just like his creative control. Yeah. And they were trying to censor him on Chappelle's show. It was like it was some shit that was like really kind of petty. Because like there was like a couple times where he was like, I have to say words I don't want to say. I don't like to say on a general basis. Sorry. So I'm going to say some words that I don't like saying, but I'm going to say them. So use that as a fucking trigger warning. All right. So he was talking about, there was a couple of sketches where he was going to say, like, faggot, all right? I don't like saying the word. And then, like, he got pushback from saying, that word. And he was like, okay, but I can say the word nigger? And they were like, yeah, you can say that. And he's like, well, why can't I say the word faggot? And she's like, well, that's offensive to those people. And he's like, oh, you don't think nigger is offensive to me?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like, seriously. Yeah. So they decided to pick and choose, like, who they were okay with offending, and that's a problem, especially if you're a comedy channel, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the fact that he couldn't control his sketches anymore, they just kind of took it from him, and then they had like the lost episodes. Even though I know Donnell Rollins is a friend of his, and so is so was Charlie
Murphy
when they had to like host like the last season with the last episode, season 3. But it was just like, I mean, what the fuck? Like those were things that he did that he didn't want out, and they were just like, you know what, well, fuck you. But I guess at the same time, I mean, he signed a contract. But I mean, obviously, now that we see Netflix the way they're doing it, he's like, listen, I'm not getting paid from this. Can you please take it down? And they listen to him. Like, how fucking hard is that to listen to the person who actually created this content that you're getting, revenue from? And I think Netflix has made the smart move, because to me, what Dave Chappelle should do now, at this point, not saying what he should do. Listen, I'm a fucking guy that has a very small YouTube channel. All right, Dave Chappelle, if you happen to watch this, but I think it'd be really cool as a fan of yours, is if you made a new sketch comedy show on Netflix, or at least help somebody that you think is worthy of making a sketch comedy show, and help them get to there, help them find the things that you wanted in your show, and then give it to them and like make that fucking blossom. Because obviously you got fucked over, man. We all know you got fucked. Well, actually, not all of us. We know on this show you got fucked. And Netflix knows you got fucked too. So just they can fix it.
I really got to say this. There was a time, it may have even been towards the beginning of this show, where I had some like disgruntled anger towards Dave Chappelle, because I obviously, we all knew he was so extremely fucking talented, and I was like, okay, whatever happened with Comedy Central, let's put that over here for a second. It's been years. I just want you doing something. I was worried that Chappelle was going to be like how I always shit on Lauryn Hill for being like the most talented woman in the 90s, and then, not having a second album or whatever. Like, there was that fear for a while, but I'm so fucking happy that I was dead wrong about that. He got back on stage. He's killing it with his specials and whatnot. And I think the best is still yet to come with him. But man, it was scary being a Chappelle fan for like a good 10, 12 years there, when there was no fucking Chappelle content at all.
There was like serious depression. Like, after like he went to Africa? Why the fuck did he go to Africa?
Yeah.
There's always there's rumors and stuff like that, Comedy Central was gonna give him $50 million, and he had like a nervous breakdown and fucking left and went to fucking South Africa. But like, he's done stand up after that, where he talks about like what really fucking happened.
Yeah.
It's like, he just didn't have fucking control of his show anymore. And then for some reason he decided to get yoked. Like, he got hella bust for a second. He was like,
So what's ironic?
David Chappelle.
What's ironically funny about that is that he speaks about why he left on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's actually one of his Netflix specials on why he left. And he does this analogy about a book. It's a book about pimping that he makes his analogy on why he left.
It's when he won the Mark Twain Award or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Mark Twain Award? Yeah, he won the Mark Twain Award, and they aired it on Netflix. And that's when he talked about the whole pimping book, which is I heard is a really good book.
Here's my deal, though. Yes, Netflix made the fucking right decision. It's a classy move to remove it off of there. Obviously, it's a bigger story. Dave Chappelle's fans are very well aware that he's not getting paid for it, and Dave told them, hey, or told us, don't support it. Don't watch Chappelle's show on Netflix. I feel like the reason why this was so brilliant with Netflix is I think that they can have a long-term partnership. Maybe for that sketch comedy show that Kronos was alluding to. Maybe for some new movies. Him executive producing or writing for other shows, ghost writing, whatever. There's going to be some future with Netflix and Chappelle that's going to be fun to watch for everybody.
But this, what's crazy though. This is the problem of his success. Well, it's not a problem. He's successful. He doesn't need to do shit extra. He doesn't need to do shit. He's gotten paid, I think, at least tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars from Netflix already. He doesn't have to do shit. So, if Dave Chappelle decides to not do any extra shit for Netflix, I totally understand. But I think it'd be fucking cool as a fan if you did some extra shit for Netflix. And I can see, because I know you got more ideas, man. I know they're out there. Yeah. And I know that, you and Neil Brennan and Donnell Rollins and, all your, comedic friends can come up with some really cool sketches again. But at the same time, if it's not good for you as a person, then I get it. I'll keep watching your specials when they come out, and I'll still be a fan of yours.
So, what was interesting to me? Obviously, years later, they had the Key and Peele show, which was good in its own right. But that was only on for a few seasons, too. And I wonder if there's a behind-the-scenes story where they feel kind of like Chappelle did about Comedy Central, because obviously they went on to do a whole lot of bigger and better things, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they feel gypped at all by Comedy Central. That's pure speculation, but I wonder if they had a similar fucking experience.
I wonder if it was like odd for them to like come in after Dave Chappelle and like having like this whole
Well,
like
they
not guillotine, but like having to fill the shoes of like Dave Chappelle. And it's not to like say anything bad about Key and Peele, but like they were like walking into these like gigantic shoes. It'd be like if a sketch comedy show came on after In Living Color, like two or 3 years later. You know what I mean? And by totally different, you know, creators. It'd be hard to like follow up.
Well, they
kind of like Mad TV did.
Yeah.
That kind of happened with because Carlos Mencia had his show that was on Comedy Central.
Fuck that guy.
And yeah, I mean, the show was real funny, but then we learned that Carlos Mencia was fucking still not ready to goddamn fucking jokes and shit like that. And then eventually we got Keel and Peele, but I was looking up next. Dave Chappelle got paid $60 million in 2016 for his third special on Netflix, which was the Bird Revolution.
So he's doing all right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Dave Chappelle is if he stopped doing everything right now, I'm good. Like everything you've done, man, you definitely put in your time.
He's a legend.
But I would love to see more.
But no, one thing that's really cool is that, like, you know, like they have the David Chappelle show on Netflix, right? But like the people who are watching it, they probably already own the fucking DVD. So like if they're not gonna if it goes away, they're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go into my fucking shoebox closet real quick and grab it. I'm gonna watch the fucking shit. Like I don't know how many times I probably watched the season of David Chappelle like at least like 8 times. And like even when I was watching with the Sweetness, like I knew the jokes, the punchlines that were coming up, but I was still laughing. I was still cracking up. It was still so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
I saw him. Me and Mishka. Yeah, man. Me and Mishka saw him like literally. I want to say like 3 or 4 months before the season 1 of the Chappelle Show aired up in Santa Rosa one time.
Oh shit!
And I swear to God, he went like for an encore, which was another hour and a half, and everybody was just fucking eating it up. And all he was famous for at that time was he was the guy from Half Baked. That was it. So he's paid his fucking dues, man. He doesn't owe us shit, but god damn it, if he wants to, he could fucking rule the world from comedy forever.
I heard he's really good in okay, I was that movie with and Star is Born. I heard he's really good in that with Bradley Cooper and such and such.
I ain't watching
Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this again. That's actually one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen. I thought you recommended it, Blue, but obviously it wasn't. Dude, Bradley Cooper is a serious fucking great actor. And I never thought I would say that until I saw him in that. And so obviously Lady Gaga is phenomenal. Chappelle doesn't have a big part in it. Actually, Andrew Dice Clay has a bigger part, and he did well. It's a good movie.
Andrew Dice? Holy shit, I haven't heard that since he got banned.
Yep, so, goddamn. It is what it is. All right, Blue, you making pies, goddammit. What's up?
Oh, yeah, man.
Hold on, real quick. I have to step away real quick, but did you make me one?
Oh, you missed out on the story. So,
I gotta use the bathroom now.
Yeah, for this year, like I've made the most pies I've ever made in my life. I made 14 fucking sweet potato pies in the last 3 fucking days. Like, holy shit. Like, I've actually had like a lot of people hit me up like, hey, Blue, can I get a pie? I'm like, all right, dude, I got you. But
you didn't say that to me. I'm just saying. He's saying people, but not me.
Hey man, you hit me up. Like the list.
I thought I did.
I was like, shit, I gotta.
I didn't tell you. I thought I did.
No, man, I ain't seen it. Like my mom even hit me up. She was like, "Where's my pie?" I'm like, "Shit." So yeah, but yeah. So I made like 14 pies, and like one of the funny stories is but I live with the Sweetness, and she was like I made pie 1, 2, 3, and 4, and she's like, "Oh, is this for us?" I'm like, "Oh no, these are going out already. I got people who want these pie." I started making pie 6, 7, 8, 9. She's like, "Oh, can I eat this pie?" I'm like, "Oh no, this is for somebody else." She's like, "Motherfucker, where the fuck is my pie?" Like, I should have made her pie first, and then start making other pies to kind of keep her satisfied.
Well, they could,
and then make her another pie.
It could have been her pie. She wouldn't have known.
She could have ate them, but yeah. But yeah, so I made 14 pies this year, and it, all of that, they're great. But yeah, I was surprised. You guys, I was expecting you guys to hit me up and say you guys wanted pies, but and like I wanted to make pies and like drop them all off, but man, I had work and making pies and time and stuff like that. It was crazy.
I'm just saying, if magically sometime tomorrow, if you were to like, I don't know, send me a message and be like, hey man, I got an extra pie for you. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I have 2 extra plenty for presidents for you. That'd be amazing. That could happen. That could happen. I'm just saying. I still have some.
That's fucking hilarious.
I got a little bit. Anyway, hold on. I'll be back in a minute. Give me 1 sec.
No worries. Fucking sweet potato pie, man. That shit tastes like fall. It fucking tastes like Thanksgiving. God damn it. I can't wait to do some eating fucking tomorrow and shit, man. It's just gonna be great. But I'm keeping it just our my four person family. We ain't doing no big event, like back in the day. Oh shit, Blue got the.
He walked away.
Yeah, he said he was gonna be back.
He grabbed it though.
I got it.
That's great.
I got this extra pie.
That looks perfect, man. You've perfected that shit. You like how Cake Man does with the Midori cake.
Dude, like,
oh man,
it's funny. Like, I think it was like
Midori cake's fucked up.
2 years ago. Me and Professor Dankenstein, we did. I can't remember what kind of pie he had, but we did a pie off. Like who had the better pie? I think he had a sweet potato pie too, but like I won, but I didn't know that I won until like a few days later because Vader's wife had said like, "Oh yeah, you won," and blah blah blah. But nice. This doesn't compare to fucking Cake Man's Midori cake. That thing is. I'll eat a whole fucking cake if you left me alone with that thing.
God damn,
like, I'll be at his house and I'll see it. I'll be like, okay, I'm about to eat this whole fucking cake right now.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing too. Like for those who have not had Midori cake, it sounds like it is from the liquor, and it doesn't even sound good. You'll be like, what is this green fucking cake? And then all of a sudden, everybody else in the room will be moving to the kitchen to fucking scarf that shit down. And if your ass is too slow, you missed out on some of the best dessert on this planet.
Yeah. Were you there that 1 year? Oh, obviously you were there. But there's 1 year he made 2 cakes, and he was like, it was like great, but he was mad at everybody. I remember he was like, "Here you go, you motherfuckers! I made y'all 2 cakes. I don't want to hear nothing until like next year." It was. I mean, I felt bad for the guy because I know he says there's work. It's work making them cakes.
It is.
But we were all grateful because I actually got me a slice because there's hella good. I'm like, I've never even heard of Midori cake, and I tried it, and it was euphoric. But,
I remember.
Man.
I think it was Grace. Grace, she fucking scarfed down a whole like almost a whole goddamn cake. Like people were like mad at her or some shit like that. Like
people used to fight over it.
Yeah, people were. I mean, I was lucky enough the few times to be early, knowing that I was going to get some of the cake as soon as he got there. Because if you got there too late, like Prodigy was saying, if you were too late or if you were sleeping on it, you weren't getting nothing. You get nothing. You would get crumbs.
Yeah. Smelling people's farts and breath.
Yeah, that's all you was getting. But there's 1 year the demand was so high he made 2 cakes and he was pissed off at everybody, but everybody was happy about the cakes. It was crazy. Man.
Let me mention one other. It's not quite a newish show, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. Get up on this Gangs of fucking London. Okay. The first 5 minutes is gonna sell you. And it's violent. It's more violent than The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. It just bloody. It feels like it should be on BBC America. Truly, like British gangster. People get got. People get killed with all kinds of different ways. It's like Scarface style fucking executions and shit. Real diverse cast. And it just an intriguing fucking story. It's on both AMC and Amazon. AMC only has the first like 2 or 3 episodes, but Amazon has, I guess, the rest of the season. There's a good fucking reason for that. There is full on frontal nudity and serious like fucking and sex. Now, kind of like HBO style and whatnot in it. I don't know if AMC, even on their online stuff, is allowed to show that or blur it out or whatever. But just go to Amazon Prime, type in Gangs of London. I promise you in 5 minutes, you'll be like, okay, I want to see more of this. And I don't hear nobody really even talking about it. Me and Mishka been watching this shit every fucking night. Good fucking shit. Gangs of London.
All right. Can we talk about something that's been hit? We talked about gaming a lot tonight, but y'all hear about this ransomware attack on Capcom?
No, tell me about this.
So this happened. I don't know the exact date. I might be able to get the date, but so the attack apparently happened on November 4th.
Okay.
And they went public on the 12th, roughly. But it was a ransomware attack. It is believed that this hacker group called the Ragnarok, I think that's how you pronounce it,
Ragnarok?
I guess. They wanted like Bitcoin money, and they were like, well, if you don't pay up, we're going to release this data. The data got released, and it affected 350,000 people.
What are you talking about?
But the Capcom ransomware attack. Capcom has said that it has not compromised credit card information. However, people's names, email addresses, and phone numbers were compromised in the attack. There has been data from the attack that showed Capcom's upcoming like calendar with a bunch of games on it, including like a battle royale style Resident Evil game, like Street Fighter 6, like a bunch of stuff. Capcom will not confirm any of the projects, but they have confirmed that the hack happened. It's been all over the news that I've seen the last couple days. The only thing that they have said is they have been hacked, and they've been trying to communicate with people who've had their information compromised. However, they maintain that credit card information was not stolen. So it's kind of fucked up because this is a big fucking historic gaming company.
Yeah,
and to have this breach is like kind of fucked up.
Well, it sounds like it, but they were blackmailing them from. I
Yeah,
haven't read the story.
It was ransomware. They were They wanted Bitcoin money, and they said they would release the information. They did. They released it, I guess, on the dark web, and I think it ended up on 4chan. I don't know the exact sites. You can't quote me, but the information is out there, and the people of I think Games Radar. Because I was reading the list of their calendar about all the upcoming games they had like set up. And there's a bunch. There's a bunch of games set up, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
That sounds like free press.
Capcom has a fucking nice catalog too, but I'm not saying that this is good. Like this is really fucked up. But
yeah,
they got a nice catalog of games that people are fucking interested in. That sucks though. They should be able to control their the release information.
You know what's crazy to me?
I don't know.
Go ahead, Blue.
No, I was gonna say that. I mean, it sounds kind of sus to me. Like just for people's information not to be leaked, but games that are coming out to be leaked. Yeah, it sounds like
no,
shit.
No, both all of that data was released. People's personal information,
okay.
as well as the only thing that was not apparently stolen was credit card information. But everything else was out there.
It definitely was stolen. Anyway, like I don't understand. Listen, it doesn't matter how secure you think your shit is. You think your shit is. Your people's identities are bought and sold in the dark web and on merc channels every day. There's shit you can do about it. Like, you have a decent bank. You have protections against that. And I mean, my bank, as soon as like any sorts of like crazy charges, just even sometimes it's for me. Like when I go on a buying spree, they're like, "Hey, the fuck you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." But there's other times it's just like, "Hey, what the fuck you doing?" And it's not me. I'm just like, "Yeah, it's not me. Cancel all those fucking charges." If you get a decent bank, these are not issues. But these are things that are gonna last with us for the foreseeable future, like being hacked and shit like that. And I think with like a lot of these corporations, when they get like these big breaches, when it has to do with data and like when they're doing ransoming shit, it's like, well, you have backups, and it's also you also have insurance. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, shit gets stolen, but you have insurance and backups for that kind of stuff. And I think from like a disaster recovery aspect of it, I think they should be less of a big deal. But I also think that the vast majority of the public, they don't understand how like shit works on the internet, or like corporations, or any of the words that I just said previously, like disaster recovery. Like people don't really they don't get it. But these are things that you got to deal with in 2020, along with the coronavirus. So you'll be fine. Like if you think that, oh, there was some big data breach, and then you're like, oh my god, this is gonna affect me. It's like, motherfucker, there's been thousands of data breaches this year. You heard about one. The other ones you didn't hear about because they just fucking covered them up because they didn't want anybody to know about them. It's like your shit's already been bought and sold. Just assume that your social, your address, your name, all that shit has already been bought and sold. Like
and your nudes. Your nudes are probably out there.
Maybe, probably.
Like I've seen Prodigy's research only folder, and I had to put that. I had to put that shit back. I'm like, nope, this is all bad.
Right, you're looking for you to knock at his door.
Yeah.
See, I need one of them PS5 external hard drives that ain't out yet. You know what I mean? Like, I need my shit secure. You
just need a firewall and password protection shit. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, that's the world we're living in today. You know what's crazy? Literally this week, in the morning, I was going to came back out with my toddler to take her to the car and put her in the car and take her to my in-laws, and my door was slightly ajar to my car in the morning.
Damn.
I was like, all right, Kamek forgot to lock the door, and somebody got into the car. Literally nothing was stolen, and I was like, nothing was, like, somebody was definitely in the car that moved shit around, but nothing was stolen. I was like, all right.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
Like, I literally left my car unlocked, and I go, like, I'll get in my car, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, my glove box is open, the center console's popped open, the top thing is open, nothing's fucking stolen, everything is fucking just open. But I don't care, I don't have anything in my fucking car. Like, I don't carry money. Like,
well, you know what's crazy? They left shit that was actually worth some money. Like, so like my my radar detector, that's worth money. You can steal it. You could be a better thief. Or a better fucking, I don't know, whatever. And then also like I just finally got my new mask in for COVID-19. It's actually what's up?
The one from TAD?
Yeah, it's like it's not a one of a kind, but you can't buy them anymore. And I was like, that's all I was worried about. I was like, they fucking stole my goddamn new mask that I just got the other week, and they left it behind too. And I was just like, it's actually a really nice mask. So thank you, dumbass thief, for not stealing anything out of my car. But yeah, it's annoying that people will just go through people's cars and looking for just certain things. But times are hard, so I get that too.
Yeah, I've had my whole ass car stolen. So
well, you can't.
Yeah. I got my car keys in my pocket right now. I'm locking my car.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to steal. Like, so me and Blue's car, we have the same sort of like security system. Like, you can't really steal it. So.
Oh no, shit! My old car, you could probably start it with the screwdriver.
Yes, you could, but like the cars that me and Blue have, you can't do that with. You'd have to like literally hack the car. That would take way more abilities than opening the car, rifling through some shit, being like, nothing that I think is worth any money is in here, and leaving.
All you need is Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie together. You know what I mean? Hacking them up, getting Eleanor back. You know how it is.
What are you talking about? Angelina Jolie and fucking something Miller Hackers. What was the guy's name? Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah.
Well,
I fucking love that movie.
There's a YouTube channel I watched called B is for Build, and they were trying to make a replica of Eleanor.
But they got sued.
And like whoever the studio is that owned Fast or Gone in 6 Seconds, basically knocked on the door. It's like, hey, we're taking your fucking car. And he's like, why? You're using our logo, our brand, our blah blah. That's our property, right? And they basically took away his fucking car that he was starting to build out, and he had nothing. There's nothing he could do because they own the rights to the whole name Eleanor. The fact that he was making a replica, they own the rights to that whole fucking car. Even though he paid money to get a Mustang to make this replica, they fucking took his shit. It's funny because his YouTube videos were pulled from YouTube because of that too. And you can't even see the videos. There's just a video of him talking about it, and only
that was just a nickname for the car, though.
It was just a nickname for the fucking car. It was a Shelby Cobra that they were stealing. But yeah, just the fact that he mentioned that in the fucking YouTube videos. They took the car, the videos were taken down, and the only reason why I know about this is because I saw the fucking videos of him bringing the car in, talking about what he was going to do and this and that, and like 2 weeks later, all the videos were gone. He talked about how he would meet with lawyers and this and that, but
I know about this too.
Go ahead.
The ridiculous part about it is that this is how you have like a toxic relationship with anything because you're so sue happy. Is like Universal Studios has never fucking sued any single DeLorean owner for making a replica fucking Back to the Future car because they don't give a shit because they know that it's free press for them for Back to the Future, and this is gonna make people want to watch the Gone in 60 Seconds movie even less because they're so petty as to sue somebody for appreciating the work that they did with that car because you can all the parts that they had for Eleanor, quote unquote Eleanor. You can buy them yourself. There's nothing stopping you from building that car. But the fact that you want to happen to call it Eleanor, like, can nobody have a child born named Eleanor anymore? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that, it's so fucking petty. It's so stupid.
But plus the movie is like 20 years old now. Like, they didn't even have a whole bunch of sequels. Like, Fast and the Furious became this big multi-billion-dollar franchise.
And Fast and the Furious, they didn't sue anybody for all that shit either.
Yeah, I mean...
The mechanic I take my car to, he has the DeLorean in his shot right now. I can't really see it.
That's awesome.
I can see it.
Well, Gone in 60 Seconds is the 2002 one. That's a remake. It's a remake from the old B movie. And then the whole Eleanor thing is actually deeper than that because there was a whole battle between Ford and Carroll Shelby, and they had to trademark the name and all this stuff, him about not getting paid. So I kind of understand why they came after that person because I guess the people that own the rights for Eleanor, the name of the car and the build or whatnot, they will come after anybody that tries to do an unlicensed version. But so there's a whole history of legal shit involved.
Ninja, you're missing the point though. Like it wasn't Shelby or Ford coming after them. It was the actual creator of the movie.
Yeah.
It was the studio.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know the studio, but I know that there's the whole Ford and Cheryl Kelby thing that goes back, but have a movie studio.
Obviously the Shelby and the Ford thing got resolved a long time ago because they still make Shelby fucking vehicles from Ford. So that was never the problem.
Yeah. All right, guys. Should we wrap this on up?
Oh, wait, there's one thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up.
All right.
This is DC animated series. DC does their animation fucking right. Last week, DC had a trailer for Batman: Soul of the fucking Dragon, which was fucking dope. It was so fucking good. Basically, DC took Batman and stuck him in a fucking Bruce Lee fucking black exploitation fucking movie. Yeah. It's so fucking good. So basically, so I was doing a little research and like the characters that are in this movie, they're like you'll see these characters like okay, that's Bruce Lee, that's such that's such that's such. But those characters played those characters in some form of live action version. So like Bruce Lee played who do you play in DC? I forget the name, but like you know who these characters are being portrayed from, but like this shit's fucking good. Like I am super excited about this. Like this is like Batman dropped down in fucking Black Dynamite universe. Did any of you guys see the trailer?
Yeah, I did.
I
yeah.
haven't even seen the trailer yet.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I mean, Michael Jai White is basically Black Dynamite in the fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his character. So yeah, it's awesome.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty much down for everything DC related, and I will say this. You know, Blue, your recommendations, especially with like Harley Quinn earlier this year or last year, whatever it was, they've been spot on. So I'm gonna give this fucking try. I love Batman movies. I'm fucking down. I'm already down. I'm sold. My only thing is, I wish that like either DC Universe or HBO Max or something, just be more comprehensive with these. Like, I understand you can't do the brand new ones. You want to release them straight to DVD like you've done before. But, you know, 3 months later, 4 months later, whatever the fuck it is, they should all be in one place.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these distributors, they don't feel comfortable enough to like go one way or the other. And so they try to keep their feet in two different worlds. And they don't really cross over. It's like, listen, if you want to, like, especially nowadays, okay, because the COVID thing, please stop saying that you're going to release shit in theaters or you're going to have some, like, get the fuck, that shit doesn't exist anymore right now. So just get the fuck out of here. When you say, oh, it's only dropping in theaters, then, okay, then your movie is not going to fucking sell anything. Nope. So, and when you're talking about, like, movie sales at home, it's like, it's going to be mostly digital because nobody's going to buy a physical, except for, like, old-ass me. I'll buy physical copies, but most people aren't. So don't make it physical only first and then fucking digital. It's stupid as fuck. It needs to be the other way around. It needs to be digital first and then physical. Even though I wish it was the other way around, but that's not the way the fucking world that we live in exists anymore. So
actually, I feel like DC Universe is doing that. Like their DC movies, they'll release them digitally first for like a week, and then it'll come out physically.
No, but it comes back to I don't know. It comes back to what I was kind of sort of alluding to is that you still have things to where you have to get it in multiple locations. Like so with DC, if I get DC All Access, I would assume that all DC shit's on there, right? But it's not because they haven't bought their own fucking rights back from all these various fucking studios. So it has to do with like the whole like unbundling thing, and I understand we kind of fucked ourselves on that. We didn't fuck ourselves, but the studios decided to fuck us even more. Because when I was like, hey, let's unbundle, but then all the studios were like, okay, we'll unbundle, we'll just charge you nickel and dime you, so it'll be the same amount that you were paying before.
And some shit just ain't fucking working. I'm gonna tell you this right now, and if I'm wrong later on, I'll admit it. But I ain't paying, and I don't even have any interest in watching whatever that Peacock shit is. You know, the new streaming shit.
Peacock is free.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Why did you still not paying for it, even if it is free?
They can eat a dick. Like, fuck
God dang.
You know, I kind of want to go back to Comcast just because like it was just convenient. Like if there was a show you want to watch, there was like a guide channel you can go to and see like what was on. You can see what's happening the next fucking like 3 hours and shit like that. Like, man, we had it good with Comcast. Now shit's all like over here, over there.
No, just get Hulu. You're fine. Like, you get the same.
Well, I have Hulu.
Yeah, you just did the same thing.
Wow. Hulu and Fox now.
So I'm looking at the cast list for Batman Soul of the Dragon. So Michael Jai White, who basically is Black Dynamite in the show, he's playing Bronze Tiger, which is hilarious because he's Bronze Tiger in Arrow, which I think is fucking hilarious.
I forgot about that. He was so good in it.
Yeah, and then Jamie Chung is it.
Isn't Brad Tiger in the Bruce Lee movie for it's that Bruce Lee movie when they go to like a fucking island, they do like fucking like a death match, and he's like the only black person.
Definitely not Michael Jai White. No,
that was not. No,
he'd have been a baby.
That's Kelly, or what's his name?
Yeah.
No, what's the name of the badass guy though? Black dude with the fro.
He died. I forget his name. Hold on.
He died a while back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also looking at the cast. You got going back to Batman Soul of the Dragon. In this, and then the Mark Dacascos is in this.
Real quickly, because we got to get this straight. This is like Hollywood legend Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly.
He was the black man in Enter the Dragon, and he fucking rocked. Obviously, Bruce Lee rocked in that. You know, you got John Saxon, Bolo, but Jim Kelly was fucking badass. Give him props.
Mm. But no, Jim Kelly and Bruce Lee is in the Batman Birth of a Dragon.
Well, it's definitely not Jim Kelly.
No, it's not. It's not him doing the voice, like the art. Like
the inspiration.
Yeah. Inspired by him. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh yeah, that is. You can totally tell. It's like, oh, this character looks like fucking Bruce Lee. It's like, holy shit. But this looks interesting. They got some really good people in here. You got freaking James Hong, who's in like all kinds of shit. I mean, probably most famous for being in Big Trouble in Little China, being the evil dude and shit, sucking out souls and shit. So it's pretty interesting. This looks pretty cool.
It looks good.
Good shit.
Justice League Dark is probably like my favorite #1 DC animated movie, just because motherfuckers die. Like,
oh well, wait, you talking about the Apocalypse one?
No, I'm talking about the one where fucking where Superman becomes oh god, what's Raven's dad's name? Darkseid. Trigon. Yeah. That one's fucking good.
Yeah, it was Justice League Dark, but it was Apocalypse War or Darkseid War, whatever it was.
It's Apocalypse War.
That's
it. Was Apocalypse War? Was it?
Yeah, that was it. It was really good. We talked about it. That was one of the best ones I've seen ever. All right, Old Ninja, what you got popping this week? God damn it!
So,
wait.
Shit.
Before we do that, it's Thanksgiving.
But wait, there's
more.
more.
Go around the room. You tell what you're doing this weekend, but also say what you're thankful for.
There you go.
Oh, okay. So, I guess I'll say I'm thankful that I get to see my family, because it's going to be a small gathering. It's going to be 5 of us maximum, and no one's gotten the Rona so far, especially my niece who's only 10. So we're gonna, do it up, eat turkey. So I'm thankful that my family is healthy and I get to see them. And then what I'm doing this weekend, I'm going to try to start this here, Rated Player 2, my hardback copy. Going to be doing a little bit of gaming during the weekend or whatnot, because a lot of stuff's updating. A lot of people are trying to do some of this Star Wars Squadrons, which is getting free DLC in the next few days. So, and then there's already been an update, I think today or yesterday, with some free stuff, a little extra stuff, a new map. Playing some Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, that's kind of about it. I mean, I'm going to be driving up north a little bit to go see family, so I'm only going to spend the day with them, so it should be interesting. I just cut out. Oh, no. But yeah, and I'm thankful for being on the podcast, not having the Rona. There you go.
Kronos, what you got?
So I'm doing the traditional American Thanksgiving. I actually starved myself for the past 2 months. I'm going to drive about 500 miles. I'm sorry, 3,000 miles to the east. And then whoever feeds me, I'm going to then infect them with smallpox and then rape and kill all of their family. And then call this land mine. I'm just kidding, but that's accurate.
Damn. I was about to say, that's a busy-ass weekend.
So definitely don't do that. All right, if that sounds disturbing to you at all, that's basically what happened with the Europeans that came to America, and then stole a bunch of land, and that's where we live now. So yeah, and I feel you know what's fucked up that I think that most people don't really get is that I feel like super bad about people that stole Native American land way before me, the same folks that enslaved all of our ancestors. But I didn't fucking steal this land. I didn't want to steal this land, but I'm living on somebody else's land. Like, that's pretty fucked up. I'm just saying. So if you think about Thanksgiving, I guess understand the whole story and live it positively. It's kind of hard to do that right now because I obviously can't take in strangers because the COVID-19 shit. But just remember that 400 plus years ago that a group of immigrants coming to America were saved. They were literally saved by the natives here. Then they fed them. That's what Thanksgiving's for. no matter how the American school system tries to fool you, the Native Americans here saved a bunch of Europeans' lives, and they're repaid in blood and death. So,
and they did not eat turkey.
Yeah, likely not. And it's just it's another way that we've diluted history here in America. But I guess enjoy it with your family if you can, but probably don't because of COVID-19. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna physically see probably 2 family members tomorrow. One I won't even be able to hug. I will see her with a mask on, and I will get some macaroni and cheese. That's my sister, and that's probably about it. And my mother-in-law, because we're in the same like little bubble, I'll see her tomorrow. We'll have dinner and stuff. But yeah, it's a fucked up time to be alive. Like I can't, and most people probably shouldn't. Do the whole large family gathering thing, but people are going to be stupid as fuck, and I already know that the numbers are going to spike again with COVID-19. I mean, like we had 200,000 people in a single day a couple days ago get infected with COVID-19, and we had deaths go over 2,000 people in a day, and people are just like, well, it wasn't me, and so they're gonna, or nobody that they knew, so they're gonna enjoy in a large family gathering with Thanksgiving, and I get it, you want to see your family, fucking so do I.
Yeah.
But missing one Thanksgiving in your life out of like, if you probably live to be at least 75, 80, that's average lifespan here in America. One isn't that bad. I've missed at least fucking 6 in my lifetime because I was in the military, and yeah, missing one isn't so fucking bad, and potentially killing somebody that's in your family, it's not worth it to me. Like, wait till this blows over, throw a bomb ass Thanksgiving next year, enjoy the fuck out of it, drink, get drunk, get fucked up, whatever the fuck. Just do it next year, or hopefully it's gonna be gone next year. If it's not gone next year, definitely don't do that. But if it's gone, if we have a decent vaccine next year, and you can all we can get through all this shit, then yeah, enjoy it. But yeah, just one fucking year out of your life isn't too much to ask. I would hope not. I mean, you wasted your life. Just think about, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. In your whole day to day, just think about if you live to be 80 years old, okay? In 1 year out of your life, that's like what? 1/8 of your life? Mm-hmm. What did you do for 1/8 of your day today? It's probably taking a shit or a piss or, walking or some other fucking inane thing that you didn't really give a shit about throughout the day. If you can't do that for Thanksgiving, like, is it really that important? To me, it's not. So, that's what I'll leave you with.
That's good. It's good perspective. Blue, what you got?
Oh, shit. What am I doing this weekend? So, kind of to piggyback on what Cronus was saying. So, if you thought you were smart enough to go and get yourself the Corona test, and you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to take the test real quick, if it comes up negative, I'm going to go visit my family, don't. I mean, because you can get a negative test, and at that moment in time, you were negative because you did not have the coronavirus. But you can like literally leave that same place, go to a grocery store, you can go to McDonald's or something, get something, and you end up with a fucking coronavirus. And you will end up taking that to whatever family members you're going to visit and infect them with it. So just keep the corona, like, have Thanksgiving like within your bubble. If people you normally see are, if people inside your household, just do that. I mean, you can do Zoom. Zoom actually they're rolling back their prices, or not the prices, but basically Zoom is going to be free for the next couple of days for Thanksgiving, so you're able to have an unlimited amount of time for that. So you can do Zoom. You can use Google Meet, which we're using right now. So if you notice a change in the podcast, you're watching it on YouTube, you can see all of it at the same time. It's because we're using Google Meet, which is basically fucking Zoom but for free. But there's that option. But tomorrow the Sweets and I, we're just having a small little Thanksgiving dinner here at the house. The Sweetest is vegan, so I can't make a whole turkey. Like last year I made a turkey for the first time in my whole entire fucking life, which was great. I made a turkey because my little brother was coming over, and I knew we were having Thanksgiving, so I was like, okay, somebody else is gonna eat this turkey. Like, this turkey's gonna be fucking bone dry, or not bone dry, but it's gonna be empty. It's gonna be bones basically at the end of the thing. But with the whole COVID thing, we're like, okay, it's just not happening. So I'm gonna like last year I made all the dishes vegan, all the side dishes vegan, but I had a turkey for myself, for my little brother. He actually joined us for Thanksgiving, but this year, since it's me and her, I'm making a fucking steak. There's a steak place here in Castro Valley, a butcher shop I went to. It's like a $28.99 for a pound of this steak, and I was like, all right, let me get one of them. And like,
you want to borrow my sous vide?
Huh?
You want to borrow my sous vide? Actually, no, you can't.
I have one.
Yeah, that's right, you do.
Yeah, I learned from you, and I made a steak last week. It was fucking delicious. But anyway, so I'm making my steak, but then I'm making her a cauliflower steak. But they're like, we're having all the sides like collard greens and candy yams and sweet potatoes and this and that. Like I'm trying to keep the tradition alive basically. But yeah, just trying to stay sane. I'm gonna go see my mom and little brother tomorrow too, because I'm dropping off. I made pies for them, so I'm dropping off pies for them. But
yeah, me too, right? I'm just saying. I got beer.
Cronus is like, come on now.
Oh, you missed it. You walked away. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. You might have a pie coming your way.
Okay, so you might have 2 beers. I'm just saying.
You might have a pie because when I walked back to the refrigerator, she was like, "What you doing with that?" I'm like, I said, Cronus might have this, and she's like, "No, he fucking don't."
Oh, okay.
But Cronus doing something. She's like going to the refrigerator, grabbing something. He's got something.
Yeah, he's doing something.
It looks like he's grabbing some beers.
I mean, these could be yours.
Yeah, there you go. Here. He's got the beer up.
I'm just saying. I only have, after this, I have like 5 left, and that's all.
We'll see. We'll see what's going up. But hey, I'm super excited that I got a fucking PS5. Like, holy shit.
Well, you don't got it yet. You hope you got it.
I haven't got it yet. So I'm really glad I work from home because I literally haven't posted on Facebook because only so many people have my address. I don't want people knowing like, oh shit, he's gonna get a PS5 this day.
Put that ski mask on.
Yeah, put that ski mask on. Be outside of my house. But
about to come up.
But it's actually funny because I still need to finish fucking. There's a lot of games I haven't fucking played all the way through. Like I haven't played Metal Gear Solid all the way through. I haven't played Zero Horizon Dawn all the way through.
Hold on. So did you get the disc version? Please tell me.
Borderlands 3.
Did you get the disc version?
I got disc version.
Okay, good. So you can play all that shit on your fucking PS5. You'll be fine.
Okay, but I still need to play them though. Like,
well, you can play them on your PS5.
Right. I'll put the PS4 in the living room where the Swedish can play like Zumba or whatever.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Tell her to play Barbie.
Oh, damn.
I'll save it for a little baby Blue so he can play with them.
All right.
There you go.
Probably.
Real quick, so for me, really, with Thanksgiving, obviously I used to have fucking 50, 60 people over for Thanksgiving back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I remember. Oh boy.
I would do Halloween and then you would do Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was just Ben had folk, like literally we'd fill up the whole fucking street with people, partied in the backyard, the garage, upstairs, downstairs. It would be a fucking event. There's no place to sit, but there's just plenty of fucking food and drinking and shit.
Kind of. So if to give the rest of y'all folks an idea, because I've been to I think 2 of these Thanksgiving, and him and Mishka were like, "Hey, we gotta rent tables." I'm on rent tables. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, we gotta rent tables and chairs. I'm like, what do you? I'm thinking it's just gonna be like maybe like 8 of us, and I show up and like family from like out of state or whatever, and like family from up north, Central Cali, LA, They all up in there. They sitting there waiting. It literally looked like a church congregation in one house,
Like
just to eat, And I was like, oh my god.
That's my favorite thing about Thanksgiving. It's not about like people getting things, like getting gifts and this and that, and this and blah blah blah. It's all about like people coming together and just fucking eating and having a good time. Like fuck, like Christmas, fuck that. Like people are so fucking petty and greedy about shit. But Thanksgiving is about you got food.
Yep.
I got you. You don't have no place to go. Come over. I got you. Like that's what's so great about Thanksgiving. That's why it's my favorite holiday.
And that's why I was grateful for Prodigy and Mishka to invite me over, because I was unable to see my family. They're like, hey, come to our spot, we'll feed you. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, bruh, we have enough to feed a small army. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking like 8 to 10 people is a small army, quote unquote. No, they meant a literal army.
What's odd to me, so this is going to be for me and Prodigy kind of personally, is that we have sort of taken like this like virtual baton from our parents. And it's like, especially like when I would go see, you know, well, I guess more recently would be like because your mom is here with us still, you know, and I love your mom, you know, and it's just like the way that I watched that baton getting passed between like her generation and us has been like so very interesting. So like they went from like when me and Prodigy were kids, like everybody would go to like either, well, probably your mom's house, usually more than my parents' house. That would be like the place to like where all the family gatherings were. And then to see like the transition between like that and then like having like our friends and family go to like Prodigy's house or like or my house or whatever for like our friends and family, it's been like very strange as like I mean we're adults, but I mean like we're not that old, even though people are probably watching this like, oh, you're so fucking old, get the fuck out of here. Like we're not that old. But to see that
kids. No.
Yeah, but to see that generational like passing on thing, I think that like a lot of people, they don't really understand or appreciate that, but I definitely did like the first few years after I came back from Iraq, and I threw like that first bomb ass Halloween party. Yeah, and then I went to your mom's house and did like, no, I think it was your house, and no, it wasn't your mom's house. I can't remember. We did like a Thanksgiving thing, and then we did Christmas at your mom's house. Like Christmas Eve, and I was just like, all right, like this whole generational change thing going on. And I think that most folks, they don't take time to like sit down and really appreciate that shit, because you only have so much fucking time on this fucking planet. All right, and at some point you have to like pass the baton on to your children, and like to really see that baton getting passed on and like being able to appreciate it. I think it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like it was interesting. Sorry, just real quick. Like,
go ahead.
Like the sweetness, like she's. Oh, fucking pop in here. Like the sweetness
he
is
looks
vegan.
over his shoulder.
No, the sweetness is vegan, and like I like to cook, and like having like a good Thanksgiving feast is like my fucking jam. And she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna order food from fucking Veggie Lee." I was like, "The fuck?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm gonna fucking cook food. You're gonna eat what I'm gonna fucking make. You know, there's no reason for it to go Veggie Lee, but like literally having family together and just eating all together is the same kind of stuff. It's like legit." But yeah, what are you gonna say, Prodigy? Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, I love this stuff. All I was trying to say was that, you know, back in the day we had the big events. Obviously, I'm going to be a responsible black man, and we are just doing it the immediate four of us in my household, which is bittersweet, but you know, better safe than sorry. And then I'm just literally going to be catching up on some fucking video games and goddamn anime and reading comics and just doing the stuff that helps me stay in balance. You know, I'll probably I'm way within. It's less than 2 miles away, walking distance for Coyote Hills. So I'm gonna just walk some fucking trails and shit. You know what I mean, with my family, mask on, and eat some food.
You know, you're less than fucking like 500 feet. What are you talking about? 2 miles, motherfucker. I've been to your house.
Dude, I walk over there like almost every day. I love that place. So
yeah, I used to ride it every Sunday. Remember when I used to live in Union City?
Yeah. It's great. Old Ninja, take us on out of here, goddammit. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. So happy Thanksgiving from the Dankest podcast on the internet. We hope you enjoyed our Thanksgiving version 2020, COVID free. But you can check us out anywhere where you can listen to a podcast with B's and BTI. That's BTHANBTI. You check us out on iHeartRadio, Amazon, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Player FM, Radio Republic, Facebook. We're Black and Black Times Infinity. And then you can check out our official website, benhadproductions.com/BTI. And then every Wednesday night, 8:30 Pacific, come get this dankness. We got this for you. And then on Amazon as well, we're on there with our little app.
Golden Eggplants 2020 are coming. They'll come in late December, early January, whatever. But we are already working on this list. You're not going to want to miss these nominations.
I love it.
Bills you forgot about, because 2020 felt like 15 years already.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
All right, y'all.